My gosh, we started with a low mic. It is still early here on the East Coast. It is the Checkdown. We are repping. No sound. I see you. We're balling out. 3 hours. Might as well start a little rusty. I want to talk to you first about feelings, right? Feelings are super important. And what do we do with the emotions we feel after week one? There's a whole lot of why me on week one. We don't really understand it because there's so little we know. Why did I lose David Johnson for the year? Why did Eddie Lacy only get 7 carries? Why did I play against Kareem Hunt? There's a lot of why me because it feels like going into the season you have a great team. And then 1 o'clock kickoffs come around and by 1:45, 2:45 you are humbled to the mostest. And I think it's really important that we focus on what fantasy football is, and that is 14 individual matchups that you have to win more than half of. And I think a lot of people saw the brunt of it week one when they caught a Kareem Hunt or they started Tom Brady. They started one of a dozen quarterbacks who didn't throw for a touchdown in the opening week of the season. There's a lot of disappointment, more disappointment than success week one. So what do we do with the mad that we feel, Mr. Rodgers? We have to channel it. We have to use it. We have to get active because week one is where we can find the most discrepancies and we can find the most things we could take advantage of. So we look at free agency. Week one free agents aren't just guys on waivers. Week one free agents are potential starters that were overlooked in your draft. This is the most important 3-week stretch for building your roster. And what comes out of that is about how active you can be and how you forecast the rest of the season going and whether you see your players' value as trending up or trending down. And that's something that we could talk about here today. That's something we talk about a lot on the show is who has value up, value down. So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to look at a couple situations. We're going to look at who's valuable. We're going to look at who we should sell high, who's a buy low. And if we look into week two, we're going to look at all the matchups and figure out who's our best starting lineup for today. This is the Checkdown. We're here for 3 hours. It's your boy, Rick Rosen. This is Heavy.com's official fantasy football advice podcast. Let's tighten up here. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. It is 10:04 in the a.m. We're going all the way till 1 o'clock kickoff. And this is fun because last week, it was week one and it kind of slows down. I'm not going to lie, there's not as much to talk about. But now we got injury reports. We got a Sam Bradford phantom knee injury. We got Odell Beckham saga week 2. We got Jordan Howard maybe losing his job because he's injured. He's not going to get injured. He's fine. He's going to play today. We have a great show planned. Let's check the schedule. Oh, bow. We're looking at our schedule for today. Right now, we are talking about right now. Right now on today's show, we're breaking down today's show. Then we're going to talk about that awful Thursday night game. Bengals-Texans. I hope you were on the right side. And the right side is no side. Because that was a really rough watch. Then we're going to talk about our celebrity guest. We almost got him. Then we didn't get him. That's a really rough go for us. But we did our best here. Here we go. Sky DVR 69. I love it. Dez, Baldwin, Kelvin Benjamin. Pick 2. I'm a big Kelvin Benjamin believer this year. I don't buy into the training camp wait. I had a really good comparison on this video coming out later this week. That's irrelevant. The thing about Dez Bryant is a fun anomaly because he started his career with double-digit touchdown seasons and he's built up this clout. But in the new Dallas system, this new Zeke Prescott system, he hasn't really been that elite fantasy target that his value warrants. But what we get now is we get active Dez. He was 1 catch away. He beat Janoris Jenkins over the top against the Giants. He was 1 catch away from a big fantasy week. He didn't get it. Pick 2 is a rough matchup here. Dez, Baldwin, Kelvin Benjamin. The thing with Baldwin is I think Seattle's going to control that game against San Fran. I think you're going to be okay starting Benjamin. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game, Buffalo, Carolina, and I like Carolina's receivers against Buffalo's defensive backs. I like that mismatch, and I like Baldwin and Dez. I like about equally, but when you factor in the Cowboys on the road and against the Denver secondary, I think that Baldwin Benjamin is easily going to be the best pick for you. Sky DVR, thank you so much for popping in. I hope you hang out. So yeah, we tried to get a celebrity guest. We tried to hook him. We'll talk about it in like half an hour. And then we got dip rankings. We're ranking dips today. Something I'm very excited about. Something I've been looking forward to for a long time. If you thought last week was controversial, whoa dog, because this week we're doing it real big. And honestly, I might get fired for these dip rankings because they are so mega controversial. They should be illegal, these dip rankings. Thank you, Sky DVR. Hang out. I love it. I love the support. You are watching the Checkdown. We are live for 3 hours. This is Heavy.com's fantasy football program. Come in with your advice. Come in with your questions. Come in with all your needs. And I'm here for you. I am your Sherpa up the mountain of fantasy greatness. We are really out here. After the dip rankings, we're going to look at injury reports. There's actual injury reports to break down this week. We'll be getting to you those around 12 o'clock. When they come out, when guys start checking out themselves on the field, trying to do their walkthroughs, trying to prepare for the game, and they find out they can't go, and that's when we reevaluate and make our last-second lineup decisions. We're going to play a little full house. We got a lot of convoluted running back committee situations, so take all your, what does it go? Your familiar friends waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, there's a running back by committee. And we're going to chop that up a little later in the second half of the show. And then at the end of the show, we are going to use the draft app, a live DFS drafting app. We're going to pick an official Checkdown squad for Sunday. Going to try to make a little money. And that's a little bit of our degenerate lifestyle coming through here on the Checkdown. We are just waking up here on the East Coast. And I want to talk to you about last week and what we think happened. Because we learned a lot in a couple of matchups about goods and bads. We're still trying to figure out who's good, who's bad. And I think it's important, but when we look at games like Indianapolis, Arizona, we got to throw out certain parts of that game. You know, when you look at Jets, Oakland, we got to throw out certain parts of that game. Right? When you look at sorry, not Indianapolis, Arizona. Detroit, Arizona was a little bit iffy. We could talk about that, but Indianapolis Rams is the big one where I have literally zero takeaways from that game except one, and I do think Marlon Mack is going to retire Frank Gore. Just from the touches, from the snap count. The snap count's so equal in the beginning of the season. We're not saving Frank Gore for a playoff push here. We can go ahead and kick the tires. Marlon Mack just seems more explosive. He was breaking plays on the outside that he shouldn't. He just seems like the feature back in waiting that eventually he will take that job. That's a guy that's probably on free agency in your league right now. I'd say he's owned in less than 10% of ESPN leagues. So you can go grab him for the stretch run. But the bottom line is the Colts just aren't very good. So I'm not starting any Colts until I get an Andrew Luck update. I think that the Colts are the biggest tire fire in football. We'll go check in on them later. You know how we do. It's a check down. We got lots of stuff going in. We got 3 hours here, right here for you. Heavy.com fantasy football analysis. We talked a lot about the rookie running backs last week. I think it was really interesting how they actually played out because a lot of people bought up their shares of Joe Mixon, thinking Mixon was by far and away the most talented back out of this class. And I think when we've seen in limited highlights, he might be the most talented, but we're reminded that in the NFL, touches and targets are king. And if you're not getting the ball, you're not worth anything. And what we learned is that Leonard Fournette is the absolute workhorse in Jacksonville. And from going to the back on the worst team of all these rookie running backs, he becomes the most valuable because the Jaguars have instantly embraced him as the most important player on the team. Right? He led the team in carries. He led the team in touches. He had over 100 yards in his first game. He ground out the Texans in the second half when they knew the Jaguars were running. And I think that this is a really big deal moving forward because if Fournette stays healthy, he, much like Zeke, much like Shady, much like Le'Veon Bell, much like David Johnson, is the central part of the Jaguars' game plan. And when you have a player that is the entire game plan, you can start banking that guy as a starter more regularly. And the Jaguars have 2 games against the Colts. So all things considered, they're in really great shape, and he's in really great shape for a bell cow back. I've started to send out some offers for Leonard Fournette, but owners know what's good. People are already wise to his skill. I mean, he's very talented. He's a first-round guy. We all know where he came from and what he did in college, so it's not a surprise that he's doing well. What's going on, guys? Let's get some questions. Carlos Hyde, James White, Chris Hogan, Jarvis Landry, pick 2, half-point PPR. Wow. So Carlos Hyde, people thought that there might be a timeshare with him and Matt Breida, and there wasn't. He just wasn't very good. Like, he got the majority of touches, the majority of carries against Carolina, but that game didn't last very long. So in the second half, when the 49ers were kind of boxed in tactically, strategically, Carlos Hyde didn't see any looks, and that's going to happen for the rest of the year because the 49ers aren't very good. So when you talk about a matchup against a Seattle defense with a Sheldon Richardson, who are going to be ahead, I think that we're going to nix Carlos Hyde this week. James White is going to have a strong PPR game. You're a half-point PPR. Chris Hogan, I'm really worried about because I'm hearing more that Philip Dorsett's going to be involved in the offense. And granted, Hogan's a sketchy play already. Dorsett, an even sketchier thing to even think about because he's a complete unknown entity. But when you talk about Chris Hogan, a guy who gets a lot of snaps but doesn't get a lot of targets and is forced to make the most of those targets, I think that you're really looking at James White and Jarvis Landry there, and I'm not mad at it because I think that Jarvis Landry can work really well underneath. The Broncos work well underneath against the Chargers corners, who are skilled but a little banged up. Chargers defense looked pretty good on Monday, but grain of salt, the Denver Broncos offense is very limited. So we have to say, you know, week 1's a lot of okay, but. Okay, the Panthers looked really good, but they were in San Fran. Okay, the Giants looked bad, but they had no Odell, and, you know, the Cowboys are one of the best 3 teams in the NFC. You know, the Packers' defensive line looked really good, which I thought was one of the more surprising things of the weekend. But Seattle's offensive line is hot garbage. So there's okay, but, and we learn and we take our opinions into this week where we can decide better. Okay, Ben, what's up? Monster game from Amari Cooper. Got all excited after his early TD. Rest of the game was a letdown. He got his looks, but that was another job where they just kind of chilled in the second half. That would worry me. But I'm starting Amari Cooper every week. That's not even a question. Is he going to carve up the Jets? Yes. Are they going to run the ball in the second half because that's what you do against the Jets? Yeah, take the air out of the ball, 100%. Don't let the Jets back in the game. So, yeah, Amari Cooper's going to be solid, but Amari Cooper's an every week starter. He looked great. Physically, he looked better than I've ever seen him. He also dropped a pass in the end zone. So optics can leave something to be desired. Between these two sketchy RBs, who do I start in PPR? Buck Allen or Chris Thompson? I know it sounds sketchy off the bat. I am 100% okay with starting Buck Allen today. Once Danny Woodhead went down, Buck Allen saw a significant amount of snaps last week against Cincinnati, and that was a game where they were shutting out the Bengals, right? So you're doing that thing where you're controlling the game and taking the air out of it, but Buck Allen is a swing route back who catches passes out of the backfield. So if Buck Allen's on the field, he's got a high propensity for PPR action. So I love Buck Allen in this situation. I think he's going to out snap Terrence West again, and we'll go from there. I definitely think he's better than Chris Thompson, who Chris Thompson is in a big-time committee, and that they don't even have Perrin in there, Samaj Perrine, whatever we're going to start calling him. Honestly, pick one. So I would go with Buck Allen. I wouldn't even regret it. We're jugging today. We're staying so hydrated. Okay, Gorgalore. I love that. I love these names. P. Ryan. See, that's just fun to read. You made me read a dirty word. Gorgalore, pick one for my flex spot, please. Adam Thielen, Cooper Kupp, Tarik Cohen, Chris Hogan. Okay, Gorgalore, I love the question. I love the enthusiasm. You got to tell me PPR. It matters a lot, especially with a guy like Tarik Cohen, who I think we're going to hear about a lot today, and I built a whole segment around. So I'm going to wait for you to tell me if it's PPR or not PPR, and then we're going to go into this Tarik Cohen segment, which I really like because it's got my favorite tool as my two-way. Oh no, I lost a letter. Gorgalore, no PPR. That's really big. Gorgalore. In that case, I'm going to go Adam Thielen because he's got the activity of a guy like Cohen where he's going to get looks, but he's a deep threat. Gorgalore, if Sam Bradford cannot go, and I'm almost positive Sam Bradford will go, but if Sam Bradford does not go, you have to swap Adam Thielen for Cohen or Hogan because you want the big play because there's no PPR. So you're not doing anything from 8 catches for 40 yards. You need to get in the end zone. So I like Hogan. It's a very high scoring game today. Obviously, you got Saints Pats, always going to be high scoring. So I think you're going to be good there. And we're going to look at some Tarik Cohen facts. We're going to look at some facts from week 1, and we're going to play sustainable or not very sustainable. If only there was a more clear word that was the opposite of sustainable. But this is the game we're going to play. We got Tarik Cohen facts later. We can chop that up. Gorgalore, thank you. Thank you for watching the show, man. Absolutely. Hang out. Hang out with us. Anthony Fedora, what's going on, man? Thanks for popping in the show. Another flex spot that involves Cooper Kupp. Him or Jaquiz Rodgers. I think Jaquiz Rodgers is going to have a really nice day today. I think we haven't seen anything at Tampa. They're ready to go. They're healthy. It's going to be very, very hot in Tampa today, 93 and muggy. So I do think runners are going to win the day. The Tampa's going to really try to grind this game out against a Chicago team that already played last week. Bucks are fresh. Cooper Kupp, I don't want to get hype on one game. He was very active. Okay, but it was against the Colts. It was against the Colts. He had a couple nice catches. He also really didn't do anything in the second half. So you talk about a solid first half. Okay. Cooper Kupp really had one good drive. He had a catch and then he caught the touchdown. He was active. I give him credit. But I'm talking about Jaquiz Rodgers, the number 1 back in Tampa. And that's totally fine by me. Bow, 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 bow. It's a check down. All right. Brait or Ebron at tight end in full point PPR. Also Kupp or Telvin Coleman. So I really like Cameron Brait. Cameron Brait had a really good season last year. He is the Buccaneers' number 1 receiving tight end. It's funny because they draft O.J. Howard and everyone wants to get on him because the physical attributes are out of control. O.J. Howard's going to block. O.J. Howard's going to block a lot today. And Cameron Brait is a great red zone guy, especially, I mean, they got Mike Evans. So how many people can you cover on a fade, you know? So, yeah, thanks, Ant. Man, I will stay hydrated. But you know what I mean? So, like, we want max opportunities, not 100% big on Kupp today. Slowly backing off the Kupp hype, slowly but surely. And I'm going to get, Boodoo, I lost your question real quick. Oh, Brait. Dude, Brait. Okay, so Ebron's good. Ebron's a solid pass-catching tight end, especially in PPR, but I really think Brait's going to get in the end zone, especially against the Bears. They gave up an 80-yard touchdown to Austin Hooper. They're vulnerable against the tight end. Cameron Brait's a really good pass-catching tight end. I don't know why that one took me so long. And Coleman over Kupp. I'm just going to start pooping on Cooper Kupp today. I think it's going to be fun. I think I missed a couple. Scrolling up, is Brandon Marshall going to be viable fantasy wide receiver? Huge letdown week 1. Give me some thoughts on your Giants wide receivers. Okay, Dre. So here's what I understand. Bob McAdoo got this job because he's an offensive coach. What is the Giants' goal? What is the Giants' offensive objective? What are the Giants trying to exploit on every down? What kind of matchup are the Giants trying to get? Like, I literally can't answer any of these questions, and that freaks me out as a Giants fan because we have an offensive coach with no offensive identity. Like, in Green Bay, it was really easy. We get the ball to Aaron Rodgers and good things happen. But we can't run RPO with Eli Manning. We have no run game. We have no intermediate passing game. It's either short or deep. It's wild inconsistent. Anything that he wants to do, McAdoo, doesn't have time to develop in the pocket. It's obvious that he's going to use his O-line as a blanket excuse for whatever lack of efficiency they put forth this year. I didn't know Brandon Marshall was on the field on Sunday. I looked up if he had a mystery injury, and I honestly am very confused because I thought he'd be a big ad. I don't necessarily think he'd be an all-star, but his complete absence is 100% disappointing. I wouldn't start him this week. It's just a wait and see. We know what Brandon Marshall can do, so it's really frustrating to have him on your roster and not be able to put him in your lineup. But I really think that it's a wait and see scenario, at least until Odell comes back and he can get some single coverage, and then we'll go from there and figure it out. But until then, man, that's so frustrating. It really is. It really is. I hate Brandon Marshall right now. I hate that he's a Giant and he's disappointing. Like, I want to root for him. I really want to be good. All right, Tanner, I'm looking for your question, man. We're flying through here. If you really don't see the question get answered, then you can super chat it, and then I'll immediately see it. Okay. Coleman over Hyde at RB and non-PPR, right? That's a close one because of non-PPR. Coleman's obviously a PPR heavy back, but I think given Seattle's run defense, I would definitely just go with Coleman, go with the big time matchup, go with the high point potential in the Green Bay Atlanta game, and keep it moving. I don't think you should overthink that. I'm starting Matt Ryan against Green Bay. I know it's going to be stat crazy for the two quarterbacks. Who will have a better game, Ryan or Rodgers? And do you think any QB records will broken in this game? Well, these teams combined for like 70 points when they met 6 months ago. So I think it's very possible that this game is easily over that number. The problem was that Atlanta did whatever they wanted against Green Bay in the NFC Championship, and I really think it's because their play call was rolling at that point. Remember, they were dominant on offense for like 12 weeks, and then they started getting Taylor Gabriel involved for like bubble screens and long touchdowns. It was crazy. So I think as far as having a better game, Rodgers is going to have a better game because his team needs him to have a better game if they want to stay in it. But I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Ryan went for 400. I think the Packers defense is a little bit better than we're used to. I don't think any QB records will get broken, but I do think that we're looking at the Packers defense through an old lens, and it might be time to switch that a little bit. Okay, can we get some Thomas Rawls info? So Thomas Rawls is getting back in action today, missed the first game of the season with an ankle injury. But it's tight because in Seattle, we don't know who's getting the majority of the touches. Pete Carroll is very disingenuous. Last week, he said Eddie Lacy could get 25 to 30 touches if need be. He used him on the first drive and didn't use him again. So what am I supposed to do with that? Because this week, he's saying, I'm really excited to see what Chris Carson does in extended work. Does that mean you're going to bench him? It's an inconsistent message, and I don't know what to do. What I do know is that Thomas Rawls is a fragile running back coming off an ankle injury. So I'm a little bit wary of the start. I'm also very cognizant of the fact that he broke the Seahawks playoff rushing record the last time he was out. So it's really not something that can't happen. Let me see something. Super chat, my man. Thank you, sir. Tim Driscoll with the super chat. You can put whatever you want on the emoji board. Driss, give me a message. I can't start Tarik Cohen over Gillislee, right? No, because our league's not PPR, and Gillislee's a goal line back. You want those touchdowns, especially in this matchup. Tim, you can have whatever you want drawn on our emoji board. Yeah, the emoji board's hanging around, boys, and it's got last week's drawing still on it. Whatever you want, bud. I'll draw it here for you. Because of Super Chat. So pick a symbol. I'm missing a couple questions. Just playing around with the emoji board. Tim, tell me something to put on the emoji board, and I'll put on the emoji board. But I got to do fantasy dad advice. My dad is coming with me to stay for a week tomorrow. Pick 2. Mow lawn, do laundry, do dishes in the sink, sweep and mop, vacuum. Okay, so when I think dad coming home to stay, I think optics, right? We're big on optics here at the Checkdown. So we want to do the 2 things that look the best. So if the lawn is completely overweeded, the lawn's got to go. I think the number 1 is dishes in the sink because you want to be able to use the sink and you want to be able to put your dishes in there and not worry about it and take for granted that Mike Osman is going to do the dishes afterwards. So I think mop vacuum is 4 unless it's just a complete sty, unless there's any outstanding spillage. So my rankings would be dishes, and then if the lawn is really bad, mow lawn. If there's piles of laundry like bathroom, bedroom, living room, then laundry's 2. So it's dishes first, laundry, lawn, mop, vacuum. Not a big mop vacuum guy. A lot of effort, not a lot of reward. Unless you're working a bar, unless it's like sticky. You got sticky stuff, I totally understand. We are out here. It is the Checkdown. We are skipping ahead in the chat. Draw an elephant with a top hat. God dang, I love Super Chat, but that's going to be difficult. Okay. Ooh. Dalvin Cook over Gillislee while I talk about this. You know, Dalvin Cook really impressed in Monday Night Football. And I think what really impressed me the most is he got better as the game wore on. You know, as we went into the fourth quarter and you knew the Vikings were running because they were totally in control of that game. He made it happen, and his runs got longer, and he looked faster, which is something that I really love out of a rookie back. He set the record, Vikings rookie record rushing yards in a debut. I think Dalvin Cook is, despite the touchdown vulturability, is a checkdownism, of Gillislee and his propensity for scoring a lot of touchdowns. I don't think the Saints game is going to be that kind of game where they're at the 1 yard line, at the 5 yard line a lot. I think there's going to be more big plays. The Saints have a much more vulnerable secondary than the Chiefs did. So I think Dalvin Cook, Steelers defense isn't all it's cracked up to be, especially two, it's not right. Dalvin Cook's definitely a heady play. I mean, it's a dream situation because Latavius Murray got 2 carries to give Cook a burn, and Murray fumbled. So he didn't even lose it. He just lost his job because he fumbled. So I got to draw an elephant wearing a top hat. Man, this is difficult. I don't even know where to start here. Ain't that 2 emojis? Wow. Tim on Tim crime. Wow. Okay, I'm going to think about the next question and then make an attempt at this. DeMarco Murray or CJ Anderson, Brian Todd. Welcome to the show, Brian. Thank you so much for popping in. I favor CJ Anderson over DeMarco because that Jags D looks hard, but my co-owner wants DeMarco because we drafted him early. See, that is part of the game, recognizing value in the rounds. Like, you didn't draft CJ Anderson early. We're playing semantics over a round. I do think CJ Anderson got more touches than people think he did in that opener. People were kind of pitching Jamal Charles, pitching some lesser players, but when it comes to a guy like DeMarco Murray, he might start losing to Derrick Henry too. So I think we're really going to play the best matchup there. So I think that Dallas's run defense is a little bit untested, right? Because the Giants don't really run like that. So Denver is going to commit to the run. I just don't think teams have a reason to fear Trevor Siemian. That's my biggest concern with Denver. I would 100% stack the box against Denver and make Trevor Siemian beat me, right? That just seems like the way to go. So I'm going to take DeMarco Murray because I think DeMarco Murray just didn't get full run against an underrated Raiders defense, a Raiders defense that really came up to play. And I'm going to take him over CJ Anderson. I'm pretty down on CJ Anderson. Pick one for standard. Carlos Hyde, Blunt or overweight Rob. That's a really tough one. Rob Kelly didn't get the touches I'd like last week. It was really disappointing. Carlos Hyde we're down on this week. I would say Blunt there. Why do I read Blount and I want to say it. Give me Blunt. Give me the touches. Give me the touchdown propensity. Let Rob Kelly earn his way back into your starting lineup. Carlos Hyde against Seattle. I'm just really not feeling it. I don't know how San Fran's going to move the ball today. Aaron Rodgers or Carr, I think we call that a good problem where I come from. Let's keep this thing moving here. I want to do a segment, but the chat is super lit. Rodgers or Carr at quarterback. We're going to go with Rodgers. Normally we start against the Jets always, but because we got Atlanta, we're going to start Aaron Rodgers. We're starting every Packer, every Falcon, every Patriot, and every Saint today. I'm not going to do this enough. These are the highest scoring games, and we're going to attack them with everything we've got because we've got to play our matchups. We want to win games. Go throw a baseball about it. Nice. For the second time, standard, start Crowell, AP, Tolbert, or Forte. Hey, how about Adrian Peterson eating dick for Monday Night Football? That was great, yelling at Sean Payton. I'm losing these messages. They're going so fast. Second time. Okay, standard, touchdown heavy, Crowell, AP, Tolbert, Forte. It's good you have Tolbert. I think he's going to eat into the snap share, but I really like Crowell. I think the Ravens D is good, but I think the Browns are going to hang around, and they're going to run the ball. Cincinnati had middling success running the ball, and they were getting shut out, so take from that what you will. Joe Thomas is there on the line. He's going to hit 10,000 snaps on the 4th offensive play of the game today. That is crazy. What's the US coin to US ratio at today? Brady or Carr? Hey, what's going on, Mo? Thanks for popping in the show. I really appreciate it. We're going to go with Brady over Carr. Like I said, we're going to start all our Patriots, all our Saints, all our Falcons, all our Packers. Usually we attack the Jets, but in the case of Derek Carr, especially since the acquisition of Beast Mode, we're going to look towards a second half that's a lot of, a lot less 2-minute drill, a lot more 4-minute drill, moving the chains, 3rd and 2, getting the first down and just taking our sweet time and getting out of there with the W. I think that's going to be the Raiders' MO today, and we're going to take the shootouts whenever we can. Do I think Devante Booker will eat into CJ's workload when he returns, maybe making CJ Anderson a good sell high option? Not only do I like Devante Booker, I really like D'Angelo Henderson, who's like the fourth guy waiting in the wings. I like all of Denver from a skill perspective, not necessarily situation. I like all of Denver's backs that aren't named CJ Anderson, which is, of course, problematic for CJ Anderson. Let me get this thing drawn. I'm really putting off drawing this elephant. Oh boy. Let's make him small. Nobody said we had to make a giant elephant. What situational defense would you take? Giants, Bucks, or Oakland? 100% Oakland. Oakland without hesitation. If you are in this chat right now and you can get Raiders defense, momentarily leave the chat. Don't leave, minimize the window and go get Raiders D in another tab. Keep this tab open. But go get Raiders D. 100%. You have nothing to lose. It's a good defense against a bad offense. It's what we do. It's what we do. We win fantasy games. PPR2 for my last pick 2 question, Suhu. We are moving here, man. Oh, Dez Bryant, Martavis Bryant, Keenan Allen, Devante Adams, and Jarvis Landry. Holy jeez. PPR. Dez at Denver, no. Martavis Bryant, yes. Keenan Allen, yes. Devante Adams, yes. Jarvis Landry, no. So we just took us down to 3. So now we got to pick 2 out of 3. Devante Adams, obviously thinking about having a down year because he had 12 touchdowns last year. That's really hard to keep going. And Keenan Allen looked really good in the opener. Keenan Allen looked very active, looked healthy, and I would start Keenan Allen as much as I could moving forward. So give me Keenan Allen and give me Martavis Bryant really disappointed too. He looked a little rusty in his opener. I'm making an elephant. I would say my art teacher's proud of me. I had Mrs. Zach, I think her name was. I would think she'd be proud of me. Yeah, so Keenan Allen looked good. And based on matchups there, I think you're starting Keenan Allen and Devante Adams, and I don't think you're pretty mad at it. I think you got a lot of good matchups there. That's pretty good, man. Right? We could have done that, had disaster written all over it. We really righted the ship there. Again, that is the emoji board, and every time we super chat, we get to add something on it, and it's going to stay up there all season. Oh! Come on now. If you see, I got to do something right. Bang! Mike Breen voice. Hey, wow. Thank you. Boy, did I pull the upset there. I did not think that was going to go down like that. Okay, let's try to catch up in the chat. We are really far behind. Okay, we got Crowley beat Tolbert Forte, Matt Forte or Amir Abdullah. I'm very low on Amir Abdullah, very high on the Giants defense. So give me Matt Forte. I don't like it. I missed that one. That was a while ago. Oh, Lord. Okay. Catching up. Guys, we are out here. My segment is unsustainable. Or, as we like to call it, not very sustainable. The Packers game. Packers offense, sustainable. Andy Dalton, not very sustainable. Okay, God, I love this the double-sided whiteboard is just going to be a joy this year. I got this bigger chat on the side here, and it is not great for me. Okay, hot sauce talk. I missed hot sauce talk. Oh, PPR flex, Macklin, Tyrell Williams, or Tarik Cohen. That's a good one, Tanner. Tarik Cohen. Zay Jones or Jordan Matthews for the Bills. I'm going to start Jordan Matthews. I'm going to go against Zay Jones until he proves it to me. Grossly underutilized in the opener. We'll chalk it up to it being the opener, his first NFL game, but grossly underutilized. So let me see. We talked about it. He's going against big-time corners. He's got to learn how to get separation. So I'm not a huge fan of not seeing looks in your first game against the Jets. Like, a little bit of cause for concern. So give me Jordan Matthews. Play or not play, OBJ this week. What's going on, Martin? Thank you so much for coming to the show. I really appreciate it. And then we'll get to my coffee. OBJ. So it's really tough call. I personally think he will play. I need to see your receivers before I tell you to start him. But I do think that the risk reward is great enough. And if Evan Engram is around, I'm willing to bet that if you have Odell Beckham and you're thinking about starting him, let's say Monday they say he can't go, you're going to find Marvin Jones, Kenny Golladay, a flex Detroit running back. You're going to find maybe Shane Vereen, Evan Engram, all in your waivers. Just make sure you have a spot for him. Don't put Beckham in your receiver slot. Move him down to your flex spot to give you a little bit more, flexibility. And then when Monday comes around, you have that big play, game breaker option. I think he's going to play because he's been talking more about it. And when he talks more, it means he's ready to back it up. Like when Odell is hurt, he is quiet. He knows his role. That dude is smarter than people give him credit. Anyway, that's what we're doing there. How do I drink my coffee? I drink my coffee with the pink sugar, sweet and low. So 2 to 3 of those, and sometimes black, sometimes lighter, depending on how much checking down we have to do on a Sunday. Tarik Cohen, PPR flex. Tarik Cohen or Dalvin Cook. Okay, so here we go. This is a perfect opportunity to play sustainable, unsustainable. So I'm going to fire this graphic up. Tarik Cohen burst onto the scene last week. Tarik Cohen became the #1 fantasy ad after week 1, had a huge game against the Falcons as the Bears' surprise rookie running back at a North Carolina A&T. Let's take a closer look at Tarik Cohen and where he fits in our fantasy relevance. Bang. Tarik Cohen. Who is Tarik Cohen? He's the Bears running back. He's listed at 5'6", 179 pounds. Not very sustainable. He's a small guy. He can't take the beating of an NFL. He's never going to be a 25-touch guy. He's never going to get the Leonard Fournette workload, okay? That's so important. Cohen fact number 2. He caught 8 of 12 targets in his opener. That's sustainable. He's a good running back. He's a very good running back. And he's got good hands. And it helps that on the second to last play of the game, Jordan Howard dropped a potential game-winning touchdown. That means that when they need to pass out of the backfield, it's very likely going to be with Cohen. I really like the Cohen plus Howard dual back packages they used and what they ran out of that. So I think that for him to be their leading pass catcher is sustainable. Mostly because of all the injuries Bears receivers have been getting. So you get mostly tight ends and running backs targeted, and then he's the lead running back getting targeted. He ends up becoming that guy without even trying to, just from being successful. Cohen fact number 3. 113 yards last week and a touchdown against Atlanta. I'll say sustainable. I think that's very likely his ceiling, which doesn't make it so sustainable, but I do think that a 47-yard catch definitely helped his cause. If you take away the 47-yard catch, which Reggie Bush reversed field, you're looking at 7 catches for about 65 yards and a touchdown. An incredibly productive day for a PPR running back. And I think that is right in his wheelhouse. I think that's 100% a reasonable number for him to work. Mike says he played his best game of the season last week. That's totally up for debate. Last Tarik Cohen fact. Jordan Howard played 10 more snaps. I think that's also sustainable. I think Jordan Howard's going to be the guy. Jordan Howard was one of our top running backs in our preseason rankings. He just doesn't have the same athleticism that Tarik Cohen has. I think, though, that he is a very good running back, and he's going to let his frustrations be felt. But, dude, you dropped the winning touchdown. So you really don't have a case there. Tarik Cohen took a swing pass 47 yards, and you dropped the winning touchdown. It hit you in the hands. So you're in a really bad point there. It's rough. Tarik Cohen plays best game of the season. That's what you're going to do. Next year. Who said next year? Oh, next year, Wetham. Oh, Bobby Dubs. What's going on, man? Bobby Dubs in the house. More likely to be the starting running back for next year, Samaj Perrin for Washington or Deontay Foreman. I think Deontay Foreman's going to lead in carries by the end of the year. He's just got better burst. Lamar Miller is the ultimate high basement guy in the NFL. He is Frank Gore, but a couple years younger. Not a knock at all. Frank Gore has more rushing yards than Jim Brown. Look it up. That's a fact. Deontay Foreman just has more burst. You want burst. 7 yards is always better than 3 yards. And you need that pop to be an NFL running back. Foreman looked better in limited touches. He's going to fight for more. Also, Bill O'Brien doesn't really know what he's doing. So I think it's more likely than not that we see Foreman. Whereas in Washington, we have a ton of talented backs in Washington. Thompson can really play. I really like him. And they have 3 guys that they really like. They're going to keep using in varied roles. Houston doesn't have that problem. Houston just got guys. Washington, they have guys for purpose. This is our pass catching guy. This is our every down guy. This is our short yardage guy. The Texans just have a guy. We have Lamar. He runs a lot, maybe too much. So it's a really rough take for the future, but that's the reality of where P-Rind is. P-Rind. It's fun to say. Oh man. I'm really glad we could do sustainable, unsustainable. Oh, one more topic on that. Cole is not very sustainable. Cole is not very sustainable. That's our take on Cole. Just in case we needed to make that clear. No, Tim, that's not what you heard. You just heard that just because somebody has more rushing yards than Jim Brown. Thanks for watching the show, Tim. So Cook, yeah, definitely Cook. We talked about Cook. Hope there's a bathroom by you, a gallon of water, and coffee. Yeah, man, if we need to go to the bathroom, we just run the Gronk interview. That's what we do on the Checkdown. Production. But I'm good. It's all about prep. You practice like you play. I got a lot of prep going on today. Thanks for joining, though, Ant. I really appreciate you hanging with me. Abdullah, Sproles, Kerwin Williams, Chris Hogan, standard, pick 2. So, I'm really down at Amir Abdullah. Giants defense is great, and his touches are down. So give me Kerwin Williams and Chris Hogan there, just based off action. Sproles, again, big play guy. He's got to bust one, and he's got to be the pass catching guy. So you're in standard, you're not getting that basement. You need a 70-yard touchdown to make Sproles viable for you. Kerwin Williams, it doesn't really matter in standard what the snap count's going to be. If he's going against the Colts and you need a running back, you got to start this dude because he's going to have success. They just got to give him the ball. So give me Williams and Hogan. Don't feel bad about it. Keep going from there. Someone just invited me to join a Google Hangout. Obviously not watching the show. Run the hat draft. The hat draft's not ready. I'm looking to steal a starting running back as a keeper next year. Yeah, Deontay Foreman's probably the guy you steal. Can Nikolai Kalinic sustain this form? Absolutely not. Not very sustainable. Sorry, Nikolai Kalinic. Is what it is. Yeah, Ben, why don't we call Deer Park for a sponsorship? Because I'm worth it. Okay, so let's check back in the schedule. What are we supposed to do today? We can talk about Thursday night if we want. I don't think anybody wants to talk about Thursday night. Boy, did the Bengals look bad. They fired their offensive coordinator. There might have been a mutiny depending on whose articles you read. Because boy, did they look bad, and they don't look very focused. They had a lot of problems deciding which. So this thing with you have 3 running backs. Jeremy Hill gets a drive, then Gio Bernard gets a drive, then Joe Mixon gets a drive. Is that the worst system in sports? Who possibly gets benefit from that? Nobody gets warm. Nobody gets consistent. Nobody gets into a rhythm. You can't call the same set of plays. It's just that's like saying they're all the same guy. It's not fair. It's wrong. It's fireable. It 100% is fireable. I hate it. He literally did that. This is Mixon's drive. This is Gio's drive. This is Jeremy Hill's drive. What year is this, dude? It's a modern NFL. Stop doing that. Oh, God, I'm embarrassed for you. I hate it. Thursday Night Football was really bad. Deshaun Watson even looked really bad. He looked like a one read quarterback, very Vince Young Texas, very RG3 Baylor. If my one pass isn't there, I'm gonna run. I don't know how the Bengals just didn't take away DeAndre Hopkins and call it a night. They didn't, and they got beat for it, so shame on them, both coordinators. You should both be fired. We're calling for firings today. I'm also a Green order. How worried should I be? See, I wouldn't necessarily be worried about AJ Green, especially now that the OC is out and Zampezi's in, because they like Zampezi, and he knows that he has to get the quarterback in a rhythm and he has to get the running back in a rhythm. He said that was one of his biggest focuses going into the season. And AJ Green is the lone producer in that offense. If nothing, he gets the targets to warrant being an elite receiver. Unlike other receivers in his tier, he is going to out-target them no matter what. I would start AJ Green every single week and not worry about it, Ben. Even selling the shares, I think you're going to be fine. I think you're going to be fine. Of course, you're upset after 2 weeks. Yeah, but the targets are there. Just because, yeah, the Bengals haven't scored an offensive touchdown. We're all upset. But we can't go dumping our shares of Green, first of all, because everyone knows that the Bengals are not scoring touchdowns. And second of all, we don't want to, because if we extrapolate his targets, he's one of the most targeted receivers in football, and he is by far and away their best offensive weapon. He has to be involved. And he's healthy. That's the biggest thing. If he was coming off surgery, I'd call it different. I liked about talking about how many weeks Dalton has left. Yeah, it's a rough one. I think Dalton's going to be fine this season. I really don't think they care about swapping out for Dalton. Who stunk more, Giants week 1 offense or Adelaide Bird? That's a big-time toss-up. As bad as the Giants offense was, Adelaide Bird was just tremendous in her futility last night. 8 rounds to Canelo just didn't make any sense. I understand that Canelo hits hard, just not buying it. Golovkin's a Terminator. I couldn't believe what I saw that fight. You don't get points for getting hit in the face and not going down, but Golovkin, to say that he didn't land his own set of shots, it's just not fair. It's just not fair to the people who watch the fight. Open parlay for nice money. What's the one lock of the day? Oh, the Raiders. The Raiders are your one lock of the day. I also think the Cowboys are a big-time lock today. I also think the Cardinals are a big-time lock today. So bottle up the 3 of those. Adelaide Bird's tremendous. The hat draft. Fedora, yeah, the hat draft is in production. Sorry, it's a fantasy hat draft. We each picked 4 hats for our fantasy hat squad. It's high comedy. Editing's a very obnoxious process. So we're here with you. Interesting comparison. Triple G won the fight. We're catching up. Take advantage of the Titans and Jaguars. Sam Bradford have a top 15 finish this year. If Sam Bradford stays healthy, he's going to be top 10. Absolutely. He was hitting on all cylinders on Monday. Granted, it was the Saints, but he was hitting throws in stride. He was really good on his... It's so funny after week 1, the best deep balls in the league were from Alex Smith and Sam Bradford. It's nonsensical, but I love it. And the knee scares me. I don't know if you saw this report today, Dre, but they tried to look at Sam Bradford's knee, and they know that Sam Bradford has knee soreness, but they can't get a good look at his ACL because there's so much scar tissue, which just goes to describe what kind of career Sam Bradford's had, which sucks. But I think if he's healthy, man, if the Vikings are healthy, they win the NFC. They're not going to stay healthy. It's unsustainable. But if they stay healthy, they're going to be really, really strong today. Who should I start in my flex? Tarik Cohen or Terrence West? What's going on, Andrew Marquez? Thank you so much for joining the Checkdown. I really appreciate it, man. We talked about Tarik Cohen not too long ago. If your league is PPR, which is important, you always let me know. I would 100% start Tarik Cohen. He's probably not going to have the game he had last week, but he is going to outsnap West, and in PPR, he's a better start. West, not the toughest matchup, but he's not going to get PPR. I think Terrence West will score, but I'm not sure that's... Tarik Cohen is a more explosive player. PPR is the difference there. Standard West, PPR, Cohen. Yes, PPR. There it is. So now you know, Andrew. Thanks for stopping in. Keep those questions coming. Definitely go with Cohen and PPR over West. We're coming in on the end of hour 1, guys. I hope you're ready for these dip rankings because they are provocative. Sam Bradford doesn't do much in early workout. But, like, honestly, what do you want him to do if his knee is sore? What do you want him to do? You want him to walk. And if he can, let the boy play. Let the boy play. I was thinking we were silly for not picking Cards, but for how bad the Colts are, I think they improve a percent and no David Johnson. I say, well, that's fine. That's fine. You could take the Cardinals today. I understand no David Johnson. Cardinals owners are a little scared, but as far as betting, the Colts are garbage on both sides of the ball. I'm going to reiterate, even with that, with Andrew Luck, I would be taking the Cardinals today and expecting them to win by 7 points. The Colts are not very good, and one player is not going to save that. Alex Smith or Bradford this week. It's a tough call. The Bradford injury scares me a little bit. Obviously, Alex Smith was very impressive last week. I probably am leaning Smith because of how the offense works. The pass sets up the run. More weapons. Bradford looked very good. Yep, 353 scores. Also the best game of his career. Also against the Saints defense. Take everything in stride. So give me Alex Smith. I think he's very good. Plus I get the running yards, which aren't huge. But yeah, we're doing dip rankings. Don't ask what kind of dips. We're doing dip rankings. Check down. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. We are heading into the second hour of our program. We are talking spreads. We are talking starts and sits. We are talking lineup questions. Pick 3 for standard. I like when it's a pick 3 and Julio's in there because I know I can just say Julio. But at the back end, this is a really tough one, man. Tanner. Oh, Mike, you're right. Skull was an honorable mention, though. I would talk about that. Okay, Tanner, let's get you right here. Julio Jones, Brandon Cooks, Golden Tate, Tarik Cohen. This is interesting because if it was PPR, I would definitely say Golden Tate. He had a ton of targets week 1. He's really the chain mover on that offense, a reliable target. I'm going to go Julio, Cooks, and Tarik Cohen. Because it's standard, I want the big plays from all 3 of them. I want the long touchdowns. I want the bonus points. I want the victory. So definitely give me Julio. He only had 60 yards week 1. That's a total fluke, man. That's Julio, 60 yards week 1. It's not very sustainable. I think he'll have a big bounce back game this week. There's some stats for Julio and Brady, actually, the week after they have a 0 touchdown game. They bounce back really nicely, especially Brady. Brady has 5 starts where he didn't throw a touchdown, which is crazy. Brady has 5 starts where he hasn't thrown a touchdown. 5. He's had 5 starts where he hasn't thrown a touchdown. 3 of them he's had over 3 touchdowns. 3 or more touchdowns the next game. He is a bounce back guy. He knows that he can't have many 0 touchdown games. His team can't win like that. So that's awesome. That's an awesome stat. I'm excited to start him against the Saints. I'm excited to watch that game. It's going to be a good early game. It's going to be really exciting. Why is the Thursday game Texans Bengals, but when there's 12 games on, I have to watch something else besides Saints Pats? Does anyone think that's a little unfair? Kind of garbage. Kind of garbage. All right. You know what, Mike? I know what you're saying. Dip rankings, no dip, potato chip, pita chip, tortilla chip, carrot. Everybody in the chat, if you're watching, type your favorite thing you put into dip. Everybody in the chat, give me something that goes into dip that you prefer. I'm a big pita chips guy. I'm gonna get it started. Pita, that's my contribution. They'll be like, the host typed one thing and it was only pita chips. Everybody type a chip that you use. What is the ground rules here for these dip rankings? I know it's up in the air. I like Ruffles. Ruffles are an underrated dipping chip. Little saltier. Who came in with a fantasy question? Lucas, you see what we're doing here? We're talking about chips. Let's get you a championship. That was good, right? Marquise Lee, Jordan Matthews, Nelson Aguilar, JJ Nelson, pick 2. All right, it's a tough one. I think Aguilar really showed out in his first game. I think the way the injuries are set up in Philly, I think Aguilar's really good start for right now. Give me Aguilar and JJ Nelson. I really think the Cardinals are going to beat up on the Colts. And if you have JJ Nelson without a major stud to put him in, if you don't have if you're deciding between two guys and one of them is J.J. Nelson, it should be J.J. Nelson this week. No John Brown against the Colts. Start the horses. Go for big points. Go for big points. Let's check back. I had everybody type a chip, and then I looked away. So Aguilar and J.J. Nelson, Lucas, hang around, type in a chip, hang out with us. We're doing chip rankings we're doing dip rankings at 11:30. So we're talking about our chips now, because what's a chip without dip, homie? I like pita chips, tortilla chips, always solid, little on the brittle side. Ruffles, salty but always good. They got the duration, the durability to get into some thicker dips. Tostitos Bowls chips are really good, but if you have like a hot cream cheese based dip, you will lose half your bowl in the dip, mark my word. Scoops, same thing. Thin pretzels, sneaky good dip. Sneaky good dip. Not even the rods like with the holes in them, you could still pick up good cheese, like they got good surface area, which is crazy. Yeah, Mike hates the pretzels. Huge surprise. Triscuits, Mike. Triscuits, Tim. Bring it on, man. He just loves his wheat. He's got to get wheaty on it. Munchos, yo, we used to eat Munchos like crazy on the cafeteria line. That's so hype. I like all these chips. You guys are making me thirsty. And also Fritos. Fritos are good for dipping too, man. I should have got a Frito pie in Texas. One of my biggest regrets, I wasn't able to get a bag of Fritos filled with beans and chili. That's a miss for me. Organic, non-GMO. Tyler, what's up, man? Yes. Thank you so much for popping into the show. I really appreciate it. I missed a question from Jimmy Marrow. What's going on, Jimmy? Thanks for hanging on the show. Cup, Ginn, Crowder, Sanders, Devante Parker, pick 2 PPR. I love this question. I'm starting Ted Ginn. I'm starting all my Saints, starting all my Patriots, starting all my Falcons, starting all my Packers. Boy. Emmanuel Sanders had a really strong game on Monday in limited work. He's so exciting with the ball. They just don't give it to him enough. Statistically, he's projected for a major bounce back year. But I want to go Crowder here. I want to go Crowder and Parker. And then it's PPR, so I'm going to go Crowder because I think Parker's your big play guy. Parker's probably not going to catch more than 5 balls. You got a guy like Crowder, big part of the offense, involved, red zone. That's a tough one. You got a lot of good receivers, man. So give me Ginn and give me Crowder. Unless you like, if you personally like one of these guys better than Crowder, I think that you're in good space with Ginn and another guy. Yeah, Parker, Sanders, Crowder, they all fall into the same tier. They're all, bundle them all together. Get your bundle on. Juanita's tortilla chips, I think I know what that is. Lucas, kettle cooked, very nice. I like the extra dark, extra cooked. Kettle cooked really gets in there for those. I like me a thick dip. Triscuits. Props to Triscuits marketing. You're getting in the chat here. Holler at me. Send me some Triscuits. Let's catch up here, man. Munchos are amazing, but horrible for dipping. See, Munchos, they're almost like air fried. I feel like they're puffy. They got a higher puffy ratio than a lot of chips. Munchos have the puffiness of kettle cooked chips without the durability. They're like flakier, but they're just as cooked. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Tortilla chips the winner, but not because it's better. It's just because it's dips. So don't even hate. You know? I think we're fine. Chicken and a biscuit. Wow. Now there is a chip. Talk about a sleeper chip, man. We might have to do chip rankings next week if the demand is too high. I'm getting pretty excited for these dips, man. I love ranking stuff on the check down. That's the wrong button. Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Guys. Check down's too real out here. We're hitting the 11 o'clock hour. Play the music. We're playing music because it's the second hour. Wow. Diamonds remix. Where's the check down music? It's happening, guys. The wheels are coming off. Hour 2, week 2. It's been a hell of an hour. We started with our mic off. And now we're here. We're here back where we want to be, man. Woo! Check down. Week 2, baby. Kind of a cracker, but we love it. Chuck Salomon with the music. 1 hour in the books. We got 2 left. We are so out here, baby. Half an hour to dip rankings. Chris Johnson is back. Picked him up. Handcuff for a waste of a pick. I think it's a really good play because we have no idea what the Cardinals backfield is going to be doing for the foreseeable future. God, I can't get enough of that intro. That is 60 seconds that get me so fired up. All right, let's play a little Full House, actually. We got a lot of running back situations, and we don't really know what we're doing with them. So let's play Full House, and let's check out some running backs. You guys ready for this? I know you'll love this. Whoa! Look at these teams. How are these running backs? The backfields are so crowded. Come on, sing it. Sing it. Well, it's on repeat. All right, let's go Full House, man. We are on running back Full House. Let's start with the Seahawks. Now, we expected Eddie Lacy to be the man of this house, but it turns out that things are getting a little bit more complicated than it seems. Chris Carson has really taken over the workload. He totally outsnapped. It was Carson, then Procise, then Lacy going into this week. And now we have no idea what's going on because Thomas Rawls is back in the mix. They love him, but he had an ankle injury, so it makes it really tough to project how much work he's going to get. So in that situation, I would probably stay away, at least in the meantime, okay? Cardinals. The Cardinals are another tough one to predict because we don't know what's going on. David Johnson severely outsnapped the entire team last week. Obviously, as he should. He came out for a couple plays and Kerwin Williams stole his touchdown. So we have Kerwin Williams painted as a lean back just because of default. Just because we were told to. But then we have this Andre Ellington guy who we know is PPR proven. We know they've gotten him in the workload pre-David Johnson era, and now we're not really sure what to make of him. And then they bring back Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson's not a running back off the street. He knows the playbook. He's played in the system before. He's a Bruce Arians guy, and he'll factor in to get touches. So this is a big wait and see. It is against the Colts, so I think Kerwin Williams is a safe start. But as far as the other two, it is the ultimate. We have no idea what's going on. It's week 1 all over again for the Cardinals running back situation. And we talk about the Saints. We talk about Adrian Peterson, who's right now in line for one of the biggest busts of 2017. Played the first series against New Orleans, against Minnesota. Was absolutely terrible. Minnesota's got a great defense. And what happened was Peterson got a couple of the carries, got frustrated, got in Sean Payton's face, and got promptly sent to the doghouse. And what happened was the Saints were getting blown out. They were down by multiple scores, and what you get is a lot of Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is the leading PPR receiver on this team, and he's going to continue to be so. They are always lean towards their pass-catching back. It's why we have this perceived hatred of Mark Ingram on the Saints. It's not they don't like him, it's that this is a pass-first offense, and Mark Ingram is not a pass-first running back. Alvin Kamara is the pass-first running back. So Kamara got 9 passing targets on Monday night. I expect that to be above average. I expect to see around 6.5 targets a game. And I think that we can expect more from him moving forward. We can expect less from Adrian Peterson moving forward. Would I like to see Adrian Peterson get 20 carries and a touchdown this week? Abso-flippin'-lutely. That would be fantastic. I like watching him run. He's a Hall of Famer. However, we have to understand that when a guy's washed, a guy's washed. We watched him in Minnesota last year, and he was super unimpressive. And he was on the free agent market, and nobody wanted him for like the entire offseason. So what's really happening? Except that he's probably not good. Full House logo is actually covered by Wikipedia Creative Commons. Wikipedia Creative Commons lets me take whatever you want. You go to Wikipedia Creative Commons, you search Full House, the logo comes up, we see it, we download it, and we pop it right there in the middle. The Patriots, they have a really interesting running back situation that frustrates all of us. I use that color because, you know, they're poop. Mike Gillislee established himself as the lead goal line back last week. 3 touchdowns. He's obviously the... I love reading articles where players in the NFL have a blunt roll. You're the blunt. You're a blunt roll now. So that's where Mike Gillislee lives after 1 week. James White being the predominant PPR running back. And I think that's a fair pairing to start 2 of the 4. I think that's where we live. Where does that leave Dion Lewis? Probably on the trading block. If I were a team devoid of running backs, I would be calling about him. I would be trying to give a pick to the Patriots and trying to get that dynamic running back with knee problems because I know he's a matchup problem when they put him out at wide receiver. And then there's Rex Burkhead, the guy who I told you would score 6 touchdowns or I would eat a piece of paper full length of his face at the end of the season. He's going to work more in the slot. I'm still not ready to start him. But I love this idea that all the slot receivers are getting hurt and Rex Burkhead is working in the slot. So naturally, he's going to eclipse his snap total from last week, right? Because if the guy that he's coming out for, if he's coming out and a guy's coming in, and then the guy coming in has to step out for injury, Burkhead stays in the game, right? Burkhead gets those touches. So it's a really confusing situation that we're really working on, and devoted to high level. I love the chat, guys. I love what we're doing here in the chat. So yeah, so our Full House is really adorable, and I wish this thing would resolve itself today. I wish we could just get a little bit more clear, especially all the way on the left in the Seahawks and all the way on the right in the Patriots. If we could just figure out these scenarios by the end of today, that would be great. That would be a huge boost to your boy. All right. We're in the second hour here on the Checkdown. Hey, it's your boy Rick Rosen, and we are talking high-level chess. It is now the checkmate. Everybody in the chat, type your favorite defense. What's your favorite opening defense, guys? What do you like to do the first 2 moves? You pawn out, you knight up, you try to work your queen out. Let's talk about high-level chess. You Kasparov guy, you deep blue guy. I'm a deep blue guy. Cecilia, yes, Dan, yes. We finally got something that Dan can come into the chat and talk about. Courtright, silent the entire show. This is now the chess down. Sicilian. That is so fantastic. Thank you so guys, if you're just joining us, we're currently doing the chess down. We're talking nothing but high level chess. Any opportunity to play an Indian game, Mike Osman, you need to get Dan Courtright's chess info, and you guys got to play a game of chess. 2 very smart individuals who have an affinity for high level chess. Hey, it's what we talk about here on the Chess Down. I'm your host, Rick Rosen. I'm just a pawn in this game, but I'll be your king for a day. Whoop! Any opportunity to play? We had a football question here somewhere. Kirk Cousins or Carson Palmer? Thank you, Yaz. Like, I don't need no chess down. All these guys are out here playing checkers. Yaz is out here playing chess down. So Carson Palmer against the Colts obviously seems like the heady move off the bat. It's not that I think Kirk Cousins is a bad play. It's just that he really makes me nervous on a week-to-week basis. And if I have 2 guys who I believe to be in a similar tier, I'd much rather play the matchups. And Carson Palmer's got the best matchup. So we don't want to look back and be like, why didn't we just take the easiest thing on the board? That just, you don't want to be frustrated by the end of the day. You want to think you put yourself in the best position to win. Don't look at projected points. Don't look at any of that garbage. You guys know what you need. So go get the best matchup possible and exploit it. Ted Ginn has a good game today in a shootout. I'm all in on Ted Ginn until Willie Snead comes back. That's the way it is. I'm big on Ted Ginn. I think he should have had a bigger game on Monday. The Saints were losing. I think it's a mistake they didn't get him involved earlier. I think it's a big problem. Check. All right, lost our USB. The Giants. So, like we said, the Giants completely lack an identity. Can they beat the Lions? Yes. Is it going to be a heartbreaker? For both teams? Because when that game gets to the fourth quarter, both of them are probably going to wake up and play a good football game. But for 45 minutes, that game's going to be frustrating as hell. I guarantee it. That's the way it is, man. Two inconsistent, flawed teams. The Giants more so. And if they don't have Beckham, they're going to lose big. But I think they'll have Beckham, so I think they'll be okay. Yeah, so if the G-Men lose tomorrow night, they're obviously not making the playoffs. The numbers on 0-2, whether it be fantasy or real football, they're not good. The numbers on 0-2 are really, really not good. So you don't want to go 0-2 in fantasy or reality. The Giants have won the Super Bowl after going 0-2. I do want to remind people how insanely awful they looked through 2 weeks in 2007, and then they ended up winning the Super Bowl. So let's not do that. But the Giants don't have any identity. They don't have any flow. I'm very curious to see what their game plan is. What are they going to do? With Beckham, without Beckham, what are they going to do? Obviously, the game plan gets easier with Beckham, but it's a massive disappointment because the defense is really good. The defense is really good, and the Cardinals had a pick 6 and still lost to the Lions. So it's not out of the question for the Giants defense to play out of their minds and for us to still lose that game. Wouldn't be surprising. Don't forget, you guys can always super chat to get your question answered immediately and have an emoji put on our emoji board. It might be my favorite feature. We have a ticker this week. It's right here. It is really fun. We can add to it too. Change it up. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at the Rick Rosen. There it is. There it goes. There it goes. I'm always out here. I'm answering fantasy advice 7 days a week. I live in Matthew Berry's Mentions. That's where I live. And we're out here, man. We're 17 minutes away from DIP Power Rankings. You guys better gird your loins. And, oh, thanks, Tim. Saved me 16 weeks. 3rd place. There it is. Book it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're out here, man. Got to play all the games. Slay is probably going to cover Beckham. So even if Beckham's out there, yeah, he's got one of the best outside corners in the league on him. And then we're in real big trouble. But he is the deep play threat. He is take the top off. Even if he just backs safeties up, Tanner, he's totally freeing things up for Shepard and Engram more than they could against Dallas. So it's going to be a positive no matter what. It's really tough to project these Giants with a healthy Beckham or without because they're wild, inconsistent, and they don't have an identity. So what am I supposed to do with that? You know? I feel like this would be a good time to talk about I almost got a celebrity guest, but because we're not getting a lot of fantasy questions. So we tried to get a big celebrity guest all week. We put out some feelers. We looked at some big names. We sent a lot of emails. And then on Twitter, the guest almost came to us, man. I was trolling Matthew Berry's Mentions, giving people fantasy advice using hashtag the Checkdown. And I came across this tweet, which started it all. Michael Thompson. Somebody asked Matthew Berry where they got that version of Dr. Fantasy from. A couple of things here. One, Dr. Fantasy. Good song. Dead. Clapton. Michael Thompson's chill. Michael Thompson likes to party. And he's curious. We might have a get here. First of all, also take notice of Michael Thompson's tag. Take notice of Michael Thompson's Twitter handle. Michael, would you like to be at your fantasy show? Sorry, guys. It's Michael Thompson. What are you going to do? Dear Miss, I was quick to be corrected. Shoot my shot. I shoot my shot. Michael, would you like to be on my fantasy show Sunday? Shoot your shot. Harmless. Costs you nothing. I'm okay with it. I don't have football fantasies. Check down. Only flying and golfing fantasies. Hilarious. He responded, which is great. My favorite part, why did he say the word check down? Why did he even use the word check down? Only flying and golfing fantasies. Why even use the word check down, bud? I'm clicking all over the place. Sorry. There's a couple. You got to work with this here. Let's do this. Okay. All right. Eric Clapton will never be on the show now. Sorry, guys. What are you going to do? We whiffed on Dr. Fantasy because it's Mr. Fantasy. Dear Mr. Fantasy. Sorry. Okay. I said, hey, I don't have football fantasies. Check down. Flying golf. Okay. I mean, I don't know what that means, Michael. So I said, when a legend responds to your show, you smash that retweet button. I don't know what else to do. I'm rattled. He's an NBA GOAT, you know? I'm out here. Not even going to respond. I don't want a response here. I'm just moving. You exaggerate, my friend. We are all of the same worth, except terrorists and killers and people who commit crimes against their fellow man. What did he do there? Let's just take 5 seconds in silence and just really try to look at this tweet. This is father. Yes, that escalated so quickly. This is the father of Klay Thompson and Trace Thompson and probably one other Thompson child. We're all of the same worth, except terrorists and killers and people who commit crimes against their fellow man. Sure, Mike. How do I respond to that? How do I get back in the game? Come on my show. Talk about what it was like to go from the Bahamas to Miami to Minnesota. Did you have a jacket? That's my inner Jewish grandma. Did you have a jacket? Hey, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk about terrorists and killers and people who commit crimes against their fellow man. Did you have a jacket when you went from Miami to Minnesota as a young man? Just steer. This is a good. Just steer him in the right direction. Did you have a jacket? No, just a cotton sweater, aka a winter coat in Miami and Nassau. Froze my underscore off. That's why he doesn't have an underscore. You know, excuses are like underscores. You type them on the internet. Yeah, he's just not getting it. I'm still trying to get him on the show. I'm even doing a little interview on Twitter. He's just not taking the bait. But, I mean, that's a cool fact, cool answer. So, you know, I respond. This is amazing. I want to know more. I got him while I got him. If I got Michael Thompson on his couch, maybe baked, but tweeting to me about the show, sure, let's keep this going. Tell me a Vlade Divac story. I want to hear about chain smoking at halftime. Only the coolest teammate ever. Everybody loves Vlade. Great guy. This is a good interview now, but it's very clear he's not coming on the show. So I gotta shoot my shot. I don't have anything left. You're the best, MT. Why'd I come up with a nickname for Michael Thompson? Why'd I call him MT, man? Why nobody calls him MT? Why did I call him MT? What am I doing here? Look at how desperate this tweet is. This tweet reeks like an old shirt, man. It is so needy. Give me your number, Michael Thompson. Can I have your number? This is so bad. I'm so embarrassed, but I'm pretty happy I get to share it with you. Please follow me so we can exchange numbers for the show on Sunday. The people love you. I don't know if you noticed, that has no response, no retweets, and no faves. That's where we lost him. That's where we lost him. MT. Why am I calling Michael Thompson MT? That was going to be our big celebrity get. We don't have him. But, you know, we got Michael Thompson on Twitter. You got me on Twitter at the Rick Rosen. Whenever you need me, I'm up all night answering your fantasy questions. It's just what I do for a living. I enjoy it. I can't help it. I can't stop it. Man, that would have been fun. Can we just one more time acknowledge his Twitter handle? He's a legend. Champagne and nuts. Champagne to N, not and. Champagne and nuts. What a fucking legend, man. Pardon my French. I know it's a family show. Thanks, Gorgalore. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Boy, has this been a fun segment. Man, Michael Thompson's so crazy. We tried. We tried, man. Oh, man. Dad. Wrong pipe. All right, guys. We're getting here. Thank you, Tom. Give me a full fantasy question, man. Traded Julio Jones for Ty Montgomery and Terrell Pryor in full point PPR. Thoughts? So, I don't know who told you anything about this trade, but this is actually a really good trade. I like this trade because of offensive involvement. Julio Jones, granted, yes, number one receiver in fantasy some weeks, has the ability to dominate a game, take over a game. But when you talk about Ty Montgomery and Terrell Pryor, you're talking about guys that are heavily involved in the offensive game plan. Ty Montgomery outsnapped all running backs week 1. He was on the field for 70 plays. That's a lot of plays. That's a lot of plays for a converted running back wide receiver. He had a lot of touches too. He got into the end zone. He's going to be a stud moving forward. And people were thinking Jamal Williams would be a nice handcuff, change of pace back in Green Bay. Dude had 2 snaps. It's going to be okay. Ty Montgomery is the guy. And Terrell Pryor was heavily involved in the Eagles' offense. They played against the Eagles, Washington's offense, and he just didn't have the opportunities. He just missed a big play opportunity. Should have had a bigger game than he did. But the numbers reflect that in the game plan, strategically, Terrell Pryor is a huge factor and will be going forward. So I think you traded one game plan centric piece for 2. You raised your basement. You might have lowered your ceiling a little bit because Julio, he's just a beast sometimes, but you definitely raised your basement, getting better every week. That's the objective. That's what we do here. We're trying to get our team better every week, raise our minimum point total, keep our maximum in check, try to give ourselves the best possible chance to win every week by taking the right mix of locks and chance picks, people that can blow up big play potential. I think that's a great deal, man. I give that deal a thumbs up. I think your trade is sustainable. But, and not having to worry about Julio Jones' calf every other week. Talk about a weight off your shoulder, man. Cutler or Cam Newton. That's a tough one, but I'm going to go with Cam Newton. I think that game's going to be really high scoring. Buffalo, Carolina. I think that Cutler is in for it in a tougher matchup against a Chargers defense that has a better secondary that people think with Verrett and Hayward. Underrated corners. They probably catch a West Coast bias. And, hey, we got spam. Yeah, that's how you know you made it. Cutler is in a rough spot. First game of the season, a week late. Not only does San Diego have Verrett and Hayward back there, but they also have Joey Bosa, who I think is grossly underrated. Joey Bosa is really good. He put it on Simeon last week. He had a really, really strong game, and he's going to be just fine. Cutler's going to be fine, but I would take Cam this week. I think Cam's got he doesn't run as much, but having Christian McCaffrey as a dump-off makes them really tough to stop in the red zone because you have McCaffrey running the short, you have Olsen running the intermediate, and you have Benjamin running the end zone route, and all those guys can make plays on their own. One of them's going to be open because you can't double team all 3. You just can't. So somebody's going to have a great matchup. Somebody's going to exploit their matchup. So it's really pick your poison when you're going against the Panthers. How do you want to stop them, aka how do you want them to beat you? Which is tough, man. Tough. Checkdown police. Hey. Thanks, guys. Let Mafia, was that Daily Mafia Online free? MafiaAddict.com. I love it. With the sunglasses emoji. Dude, all real mob members, they rock the yellow emoji with the shades. Smash that report button. I love it, man. Get out of here with your Daily Mafia. But, is it free? Is it fun? Is it a flash game? I like Is it on Facebook? Do you like me and Mully's parlay? What's Mully's parlay? Raiders, Titans, Cards? That's Yaz's parlay. Everybody post the parlays you're playing today. Put your parlays in the chat. And I'll take a look at them. We'll grade parlays. We'll do parlay power rankings. I'm out here, guys. We're coming in on 11:30. We're going to rock some dip power rankings. Halfway point of the show. Week 2 coming at ya. I feel like I need to go over. I feel like my own teams are not set. Like I did them on Thursday, but I just feel like there's a John Brown on there. I'm literally messaging people YouTube. People are really getting at me on Twitter we got the show, man. We're live. We're out here. Patriots, Panthers, Titans. See, that's a really good parlay, but the Patriots make me nervous because it's a high-scoring game. So, like, I like it, but it also makes me more nervous than maybe Yaz's parlay, which probably doesn't pay as much. So it's, you know, it's up and down. Fantasy mid-90s punk rock and pop punk. I live for this. Green Day's Dookie, Offspring Smash, or Blink 182 Enema of the State. I'm guessing this is pick 2. This is pick 2 PPR, points per record. PPS, points per single, would be a little different. Offspring Smash, that was the one. If I do this, is it going to switch to the... Is it going to do the split screen for me? Yeah. Offspring Smash. What was on this album? Smash, the Offspring album. Checkdown. We do the screen share. This is when we're looking at... This is a page reserved for looking at injuries, but we're also going to look at Smash track list. This is the one with Pretty Fly for a White Guy, right? It has to be. No, it's not. It's the one with Hey, Hey, Hey. Come out and play. Gotta Get Away, Genocide, Something to Believe in. It'll Be a Long Time. What Happened to You, Solo, Not the One. I mean, there's a song called Smash, but just because this doesn't have it doesn't have Pretty Fly for a White Guy, so it can't go there. Dookie and Enema, yeah, Armel's got it 100% right. It doesn't sound good. The optics are probably bad, but in my fantasy pop, rock, punk 90s album league, I'm gonna go with Dookie Enema, and it's probably a good enough. I could probably just name my team Dookie Enema, and I don't think anybody's gonna challenge that. I think I get a lot of respect. But I mean, I don't know how I drafted them both because they're clearly 1-2. All right, everybody type the first tape or album they got as a kid. First tape, first album you bought as a kid. First album or tape you bought as a kid in the chat right now. I want to see it. I want to see it, and then I'm going to answer fantasy questions. I will not answer fantasy questions until I see like 5 albums in there. Toxicity, good. It's a good one. Killboy Powerhead. I don't know what that is. Gorgalore's Got It. Smash is good song after good song. Not a bad song on that record. I just looked at the record and I wasn't impressed. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. So Offspring, so the album I'm thinking of with Offspring has Pretty Fly for a White Guy and Why Don't You Get a Job. Like, that was their follow-up album. That was, because that first album is pretty hard. Like, Come Out and Play, it's pretty aggressive. And then they just totally dialed it back with Why Don't You Get a Job, which I'm pretty sure has a xylophone track on it. Bleep, 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 blue, bleep, blue, bleep. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sam Bradford is inactive. Sam Bradford is inactive. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Case Keenum will start. Case Keenum will start. We are breaking news on the Checkdown. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow. Case Keenum. Case Keenum time. Wow. Everybody go change it. Adam Thielen, out. Kyle Rudolph, out. Dalvin Cook, sketchy, but I would still start him, especially in PPR, because you're going to have a dump-off game. What does this do to Vikings receivers? I bench him. I bench your Vikings receivers today. Cannot trust him. Cannot trust your Diggs. Cannot trust your Thielen. I don't like it. I don't like it. Wow. Wow. Week 1. Bradford is out. That is insane. Wow. This is why we check down so hard. People are like, hey, why did you go for 3 hours? Because we got to talk about this. Yeah, Dalvin against 8 in the box in the Steelers. Dalvin against that great Steelers front. Wow, what am I doing here? Switch it up. New main. Sorry. Yeah, wow. That is crazy. Okay, wow. Okay, let's catch up on questions. Do some dip power rankings. And Wow, Sam Bradford is out. Holy jeebs. Okay, so let's... Schefter bombs! Fwah. Sorry if I just blew up your microphone, your speakers. But that's the proper reaction to what just happened. Good Lord. Okay, let's answer 2 questions. I get you, Brian. I understand what you're saying, Brian, but I think that Pittsburgh's defense is a little vulnerable. You can get away with starting someone against Steelers defense. You could score points on them. Okay, who did I miss? We're back. JJ Nelson, Pierre Garçon, Kenny Britt, Chris Hogan, Kelvin Benjamin. Pick 2 standard TD heavy. JJ Nelson and Kelvin Benjamin. If you're feeling frisky, Pierre Garçon. But JJ Nelson's the big play threat. Cardinals got the good matchup against the Colts. Kelvin Benjamin, big target. Should have scored last week. I'm like getting caught up with hiccups, and dude, Schefter just got me all screwed up right now. Schefter he hit me with that Canelo right hook, like bah, and I'm rattled, so rattled. Wow. Okay. Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle, so solid. Wow. Catching up. JJ Nelson, Pierre Garçon, Kenny Britt. We just answered that, Kaz. Thank you so much, Yaz, for coming in twice on that. I caught it. So I just benched Diggs and Thielen on one of my teams. Oh, wow. You're starting 2 Vikings receivers. Well, see, that's interesting. You're starting 2 Vikings receivers anyway. You're a little bit of a problem. Sugar Ray, really good. Devante Parker or Blunt in flex, non-PPR. What's up, Dylan? Thank you for hanging. Parker's got a rough matchup. Tough Chargers secondary. Blunt has a really good chance to score. Hasn't gotten as many touches as I'd like, but he did a good job moving the pile. That offensive line is good. I mean, it's not like the Patriots didn't run on the Chiefs, but the short yardage, they did struggle. Gillisley got stuffed a bunch of times, so I'm not really super confident in Blunt's ability to do the same thing. Parker's your big play guy. I would say it's a toss-up, Dylan. I expect similar scores from both of them. I'm not going to give you an official answer because I hate LeGarrette Blount and I hate the Eagles. So I hope he doesn't score, but I think he probably will. The Chiefs are really good. I would say if I had to pick one, I would say Parker, just because he's got a higher scoring ceiling with the big guy. He's Jay Cutler's big play guy. Devante, I don't remember what the first album bought was. There have been a lot. Steve Miller's whack. Mike, you can leave now. Thanks for hanging out. Lemonade and Brownies and Floor were better Sugar Ray albums by Gorgalore with the Sugar Ray flex. Oh my God, that was awesome. Steve Miller's for people music. You don't people like music. Mike, I think you're a joker, possibly a toker. What's going on, Juan? Thanks so much for popping in. Really appreciate it. Ben wants a college player who impressed yesterday in terms of future fantasy value. Oh man, I tell you what. Tennessee's running back, I can't remember what his name is. I'm going to look it up right now. he did not look fast until he was breaking off runs. He was catching everything out of the backfield. He was making play after play. John Kelly. This guy, John Kelly, did not look like the best running back on the field, but he was a monster. And when you look at the Tennessee running backs that are in the NFL right now, with Hearns is in the NFL and Kamara is in the NFL, that's, yes, you sit Diggs, Suhu. Sorry, sit Diggs. Not worth it with Case Keenum. You just got to do what you got to do, man. Bradford's out. The Vikings believe it's just a 1 week absence for Bradford, saying Ian Rappaport. Yo, thank you for giving your own fantasy advice. I see what you're doing there with Moncrief. It's a contrarian play, but you know, get the fuck out. I'm just kidding. Yo, give me your own questions, man. I totally got what you're doing. We're not gonna start our Colts just to be contrarians. It's too risky. Why would you start Dante Moncrief when you can go pick up JJ Nelson? The Colts aren't gonna have the ball nearly as much. Okay, I just dropped Moncrief. Armos! I do think Moncrief has value when Luck comes back. Yeah, Budo, you and Mike would be good friends about music. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun conversation. Steve Miller, Wote, not really going to do that. Charles Clay or Kobe Fleener, non-PPR. I like that question. Is it Dylan or Dylon? I need to know. Either way, start Charles Clay. He had the highest target share among tight ends in week 1. Granted, it was against the Jets, but the dude was getting looks, and that's what's important. I'm going to pull the light a little bit. Just getting a little too bright. It's getting a little too bright. Your boy can't deal with heat as it is. We are running late. We are running late on our dip rankings. Oh, it's Dylan. Okay, it's Dylan. All right, I'll say funny, Dylan. Shit, you got me to laugh, man. Subbing. I do like Moncrief. Brissett's going to do so much better than Tolzien. We're not saying that. We're just saying that it's too risky to start our Colts. We have Cardinals that are available that we think can play. John Brown's out. There's that clear void that we can fill with a free agent require. Josh Doxson will play for the Redskins. We got our injuries coming in, guys. Stephon Tuitt is out. TJ Yeldon is out. Marcus Wheaton is out. Ooh, Rappaport called him Steelers wide receiver Marcus Wheaton. Does he know that Marcus Wheaton's on the Bears now? Let's check his Twitter mentions are probably a cesspool, knowing what we know about the Twitter community and their love, their passion for correcting mistakes. This sun is really just killing me. Tolzien is the Steve Miller of NFL players. I don't like that opinion, but I respect it. What do you say? I think we should do dip rankings now. Post a dip. Predict your dip rankings right now in the chat. Give me a dip that you think is going to be in the rankings. And if I get a couple of them, I'll fire this thing up. We're in the check down. Marcus Wheaton, Beavers bobblehead on my windowsill. Breaks my heart. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do, man? Do. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Salsa, hummus, French onion. Look at all these honorable mentions. Haterade, my man. That's how we know we're ready to start, because you nailed one. Welcome. Welcome to the Checkdown's official dip rankings. Can you handle the dip? Get down. Love it. Number 5, bang, guac. Guac. Avocado's a fruit, so this is the number 1 fruit-based dip on the planet, and that's something I firmly believe in. Guacamole's outstanding. It's worked its way into the national menu in the past decade. It's probably the most overhyped food of the last 10 years. So here we go. We got guac, easy number 5. Scoots in at 5, and it's a really solid basement to work with. It's the number 1 fruit dip, okay? That's guac. Number 4, fun dip. Fun Dip's one of the first candies that truly blew my mind as a child. They give you a stick The stick is not a candy. The stick is a tool. It's the only candy that comes with a tool. The candy needs an assistant. Fun Dip is the best fake dip of all the dips. So I had summer camp fond memories of me grabbing at Fun Dip. It's sugar. It's a pixie stick. If you took 19 pixie sticks and you dumped them into a pouch, you would end up with dip that is fun and that is so solid. So it is outstanding. Carrie doesn't like Fun Dip. That's totally fine. Number 3, Bao. Spinach, possibly featuring artichoke if you get artichoke on the track. This is the number 1 vegetable dip. Spinach dip is a classic among the hot cream cheese dip. Fun Dip is swine that peasants feast on. Yep, I see we got some hate in the chat. Spinach dip's one of my favorite dips. It's one of my favorite appetizers. It's really good with tortilla chips, but it also merits a thicker chip. It's got good consistency. It makes me feel good about eating spinach. It's my favorite way to eat spinach. And when you get artichokes in there, there's such a great saltiness with the artichoke. It really gives you a flavor balance because you have the creaminess of the cream cheese in your spinach and you have that saltiness of the artichoke, and they play off each other really well. Tim's out. Bye, Tim. Number two, Buffalo chicken. Number 2, buffalo chicken is one of the kings of the dip world. It's definitely a Mount Rushmore dip, so it belongs on this. It probably needs to be higher, but we just can't do it. We just got a special number 1. We can't go for it. So buffalo chicken, it's my go-to party dip. It's easy to make, and it's always the first thing eaten. You can go ranch, you can go blue cheese. People always like it. You can play with the heat. I'm a big make it cheese crust, stir it up, ready to serve. I like to bring it out in the second quarter of a football game because what happens is it'll get demolished early. If it's out pregame, it's not going to be around. But if you bring it out in the second quarter when everyone already has a plate of appetizers and tailgate food, I think that's when it really shines. At the number 1 dip in the Checkdown's official dip rankings, ladies and gentlemen, take it away.
Beth, Coach, it's a pleasure to be with you guys here on the field from up close, just watching Coach Vance Joseph. From here, you watch him now on the screen. This diversity in his background is helping him a lot tonight. Quarterback at Colorado, defensive back in the NFL, and here he is, having the time of his life this night, making his head coaching debut.
He is having the time of his life. Sergio Dip, you are the number 1 dip, and I love you. I'm not gonna lie. If I were doing my first stand-up on Monday Night Football, I would crush it. It's your boy Rick Rosen. I would crush it. But if I had to do it in my second language, yeah, I'd be on the front page of Deadspin inside of 10 minutes. Yeah, I'd have to film extra video after the game from my hotel room. Yo, absolutely savage the way Sergio Dip was treated on the internet. Some people were positive. I respect that. But yo, this guy tried his best. He's been a Deportes guy for a long time. He's a young guy. When I dip, you dip, we dip, Sergio dip. That's it for dip rankings for the year. If you want to come at our dip rankings, you got to come back next year. You hit me on Twitter. You tell me where I messed up in my dip rankings. Honorable mentions, queso. Honorable mention, chili cheese. Honorable mention, skull long cut. Honorable mention, I make a Reuben dip for the Super Bowl that I only make for big occasions, but it's better than anything you've ever had, so it needs to go at least in the honorable mentions. I think that this needs to stand as a testament to what this show is about. This has a perfect balance of what we like to do here on the Checkdown. Because if you just took out Sergio and Fun, you have a pretty accurate dip rankings, and then you guys just get so riled up. I sold out this week, brother. Get at peach mango salsa. You want to talk about fringe? Hey, man. It's my show. I want to get provocative. I take chances. I take risks. Ronnie, thank you so much for checking out the show. I really appreciate it. Yeah, queso was originally the 5, but once I remembered Fun Dip, I totally put it in there instead because Fun Dip's hilarious. And it just to see guacamole and then fun, that giggle was too much for me. Risk Rosen. It's the bad boy of fantasy football out here. I doing things. Checkdown, formerly known as the chest down. All right, Ronnie, welcome to the show. Duke Johnson at running back or Theo Riddick in PPR? Well, you got 2 PPR heavy backs there, but as far as snap count concerns, one is significantly outsnapping the other. Duke Johnson is getting a lot of work in the slot. He did not work as a running back at all week 1. He worked exclusively in the slot. So I think that's something to keep looking at moving forward. I think that against the Ravens, they will be passing and he will be needed. And I think that the Giants have enough linebacker and safety skill to... Fun Dip, the people have spoken. This is great. I like when you guys are mad, and I will continue to do it. So I like Duke Johnson. I like his snaps, and I like the way that Cleveland's offense functions with him in it. I like his role. I like Kaiser. I don't like the way the Lions offense works, and I think if they're going to be short passing, they much prefer Ebron or Tate, who are mostly short yardage route runners. What about the database of interacting proteins? That was also in the honorable mentions. The database of interacting proteins. A very underrated dip indeed. Steelers or Rams defense? This is a really good question because the Steelers are now playing Case Keenum. So go start Steelers. You got Case Keenum making his first start of the year at home or on the road at Pittsburgh. Give me the Steelers defense. The Rams defense is pretty good, but they played the Colts last year. I don't know what's going to happen. So give me the Steelers against a backup quarterback. Give me the backup quarterback every time. Fun Dip is the worst thing you've ever done on the show. I am taking your criticism and I am putting it over here in my very important pile of criticisms. I like Deshaun Kaiser. I like his rolls. I like his buns. I like his arm. I can't believe Notre Dame didn't do better with him as a quarterback. Brian Kelly, you are the real buns. Yo, I like when Yo-Yo posts in the chat because it's like that's how he's starting his question. So it's like, yo, okay. I love that. 3 of my 4 running backs are rookies. Fournette, Carson, and Alvin Kamara. Fantasy projections today. Go. Leonard Fournette, 24 carries, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Chris Carson, 16 carries for 69 yards, 4 catches for 32 yards, and a touchdown. Alvin Kamara, 2 rushes for 14 yards, 5 catches for 59 yards. I got you, Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo has its ups and downs. That's why Haterade's here, man. I love that you're hanging out with us today. I really, really appreciate it. Juan, you want Vereen or Abdullah? It's a really rough Monday night play. Vereen's getting a lot more work than I think people expected as a passing back. That's a really tough question because personally, I hate them both. I have vendetta against both. So if you have a third running back, park him in, put him in the chat. Let me see what the third back is. Amadeo, you can leave. Marquez. Now that Bradford's out, do I keep Rudolph or go in with Clay? I liked Clay from the beginning. Clay's got a very high target share on that team. He's a very valued receiver. So why don't you give me Clay over Rudolph in the first place? And then from there, and we're going to move. We got Jason Verrett out for the Chargers. Jason Verrett starting corner. So give me Devante Parker in all our 50-50s where I said I wasn't sure about Parker. You can go ahead and put Parker in. This is how it works. We're in the last hour. Injuries fall through. We make adjustments. This is why I'm the best, guys. We adjust, we readjust, we analyze, we come back. Third is Perkins. All right, Juan, so you're in a rough spot. All right, Juan, give me Vereen because Abdullah is going against the Giants defense, and I think the Giants are going to get more yards doing what they do than the Lions. I also think Beckham will play, and that'll open up some space for Vereen. So go with Vereen, especially if it's PPR. If it's not, drop all 3. Come back to me next week. That's crazy. That's crazy. Sam Bradford is out after just like that, man. That is huge. All right. We have 10 minutes to the last hour. In the last hour, we're going to do a draft. A draft. Let's take a look at this. Is this working? We have a live draft in the draft app. I wonder if you guys will be able to get on board with this with us. So the draft app is really cool. It's like a FanDuel DFS thing. And what it is everybody is, you sign up, you pay, and then we do a snake draft. We do the draft, but we only keep the teams for the day. So it's a really cool way, if you're feeling confident about the matchups, to get in there, make a really nice pick and win some money. It's DFS without all the everybody starts the same guys garbage. I like it. And you can do some rule changes. You can make it funky. It's really fun. It's really fun. So let's do this. I think this will work. This is totally uncharted waters on the show. I think it's gumming up my computer, but I don't care because I'm in it for the content. I need a video, new movie recording. You got to get QuickTime open, and then you got it. Yeah, there it is. The draft app. So here we are in the draft app, and we're going to find a $3 tournament. $3 through the brackets, head-to-head bracket tournament. Winner takes $100. Let's check this out. 7 rounds. Oh, wow. Every week. Every week's a different game. That's crazy. I like that. But that's like a big commitment. I'm not really sure I'm about that. 6, first and goal, 5. 15 games. Give me something for $3. Here we go. 3-person draft for $3. Okay, so it's quiet right now, so let's do this. Let's try this. I'm doing a draft, dude. I'm doing a draft. We are in the draft app. We are doing a tournament. This is exciting. So now, the draft is starting in a minute. It's me and 2 strangers. So let's take a look at our best matchups, who we are picking first. We have first overall pick, which I love. And I can take whoever I want. So I have, obviously, all these quarterbacks, their projected fantasy scores, and a whole lot of good options. Let's see what we're going to do here. If you think, talk in the chat about who we should draft first. Because I'm leaning towards Zeke. But he's the number 2 on the board. So tell me who I should draft first. We have 15 seconds before we got to draft. And this is interesting. This is fun. I like this app. But I don't know. It's tough because you have to go by just the 1 week. And you don't know how everyone else is going to organize their team. I'm first. I'm going to take Zeke because I truly think he's got the best matchup this week. And he had 70 carries. I could take Hunt on the next pick. I might take Hunt on the way back. I'm going to add him to my queue. He took Julio. I also want to take Aaron Rodgers. I want to take someone from the big matchup, the Saints-Pats. Give me Brady. Give me Brady. Shady went. So this guy's on the wraparound after taking Shady. You can see at the top who's getting picked. I like Lynch against the Jets too, but I don't think we need to do that. I don't think we need to sleep like that. Nice. Someone just texted me, and will I see this? Whoever that was, post in the chat. That's hilarious. I'm getting texts. You're looking at a screen share of my phone. So it's my pick. I have 15 seconds. I want Tom Brady against the Saints. I think he's going to have a huge game. So also, because it's only 3 teams and 5 players, your team looks stizacked. So I can still go Evans. I can still go Tarik. I can still go Gronk. I can still go Keenan Allen I really like. Brandon Cook's reunion. Do we like Brandon Cook's reunion today? Read it to the crowd. Read what to the crowd? I'm out here. Didn't I just take Brady? Oh, I got 2 picks. Oh, I just auto-drafted Kareem Hunt. We're learning. We're learning. All right, now I got 4 picks to figure it out. This is crazy. Oh, read the text out loud. It's, will you see this? Yeah, look, I got a text. Way to go, man. Oh, saw the schedule. Oh, I know who that was. Unbelievable. All right. Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I like that pick too. Let's get Cooks in our lineup. And now we got a nice Cooks. We got a Cooks Brady stack going. And we need 2 receivers. That's it. So if Antonio Brown's going to fall to us, and he is, too easy. Brandon Cooks, Antonio Brown. Book it. Just like that. And just like that, we got a draft team. And that's our team for today, guys. We have Aaron Rodgers. No, we don't have Aaron Rodgers. We have Tom Brady, Zeke Elliott, Kareem Hunt, Brandon Cooks, and Antonio Brown. How great is that? I just drafted a league in 3 minutes with the draft app. Not that hard. This is not a plug. This is not an advertisement. This is just a fun way to win money on Sundays. You can do these for just the afternoon games. I am projected to come in last place, which is always good to hear. And I don't know why my phone isn't doing the right time. It's not a shameless plug because I'm not getting paid. It's just what it is. That was fun. I like doing that. I like doing these interesting things. That was an experiment. It's something I thought of last week as a fun thing for the show, just to try to, nobody's out here doing live things on their phone during the show. Like, nobody's out here doing that. Come on, man. I'm breaking ground out here. Come back to the chat. Lost all my viewers. Like, nobody's watching. Hey, man. Things slow down. We can do what we want. It's my show. It's my show, and I got a whole nother hour left to talk about whatever I want. Sam Bradford's out. And honestly, we did really good. I like that team. I know the draft app doesn't, but I like the team. So, as always, projections. Shitting. Cohen or Cook now. See, that's the thing. Now it becomes sketchy because they can stack the box against Keenum and Cook. I know it's tough, but I would still say Cook because Cook is a workhorse. Cook gets all the touches, both rushing and receiving. Cohen doesn't get the majority of the snaps, barely gets the majority of the touches, and honestly, little insider stuff, not insider stuff, but it's going to be 93 and humid in Tampa. I just don't see running backs getting an extended amount, like 6 touches on a drive, because I just think they'll try to mix it up more to keep them fresh. I just don't see it being like a fast-paced game. Like against Atlanta, you got to move. I don't see that kind of game. I'd still go with Cook. I think Cook, in 3 weeks, we're going to be like, why would I ever bench Dalvin Cook? I think he's that good. I always loved his game, and I'm really happy for him to have a strong start against New Orleans. I think he totally deserves it. He totally deserves it. Great college career. Great running back. Never caused problems. Just does the right thing. Good guy. Makes sense. Yeah, I want a Giants. Yeah, I want a Giants to draft him. The Giants are too peeved. They took David Wilson, and now they're shook. Dal Cook, you should have seen him at State. Oh, no, he didn't even... I didn't even read it. I have no idea. That is going to be so good in the best of video. That is so good. I would super chat myself. Oh, man. That is great. Yes. What's up, Juan? Thanks for hanging out still. Christian McCaffrey or Thomas Rawls. I'm going to take McCaffrey. I think that the carry share is massive. I think the snap count is effective. I think when they say they're going to keep him on a leash, they're lying. I think that he deserves more carries on the outside. I think that they abandoned the second half game plan because they were brutalizing the 49ers, and that's why Jonathan Stewart got more carries. Jonathan Stewart's is the lead back, but it's very obvious he's not going to get the lead work. When McCaffrey is the guy, McCaffrey's going to be the starter. Thomas Rawls with the ankle, I just don't trust it. I know he's got a more favorable matchup. I just don't trust it. I'm a Christian McCaffrey believer, and I will continue to do so. Let's rip the theme song just because we're heading into the last hour. Baby, baby! I can't get enough of it. Chuck Salamone on the theme song. We play it every hour. Take us through. We are 59 minutes away from week 2 kickoff. I gotta go through my lineups and make sure I'm not starting any Bradford disciples. I have a couple of really big decisions to make by myself. I could do Chris Carson or Devante Parker, and that's really rough. I trust Chris Carson. I'm also wrong a lot. I'm switching. I'm going with Parker. I'm going with Parker because of the news about Verrett. They're starting a rookie corner against Jay Cutler. He's going to go deep. Devante Parker's immensely talented. He just hasn't really gotten the work. So, I like that. God, I love that song. I listen to that Checkdown theme all the time. Yeah, I know. I'm going to start Parker. I'm doing my own fantasy advice on myself, on my own show. Isn't it great when you watch a YouTube show and the host looks at their phone? Isn't that just the realest? Okay, so there's a way to do this. Gosh darn it. All right, so I have to fix my own lineups. So why don't we just put my lineups on the screen using the same thing from the draft app? Let's just do it. We got an hour. We're here. Hater's got a question. We'll answer it while we're setting this up. Tarik Cohen, CJ Anderson, or Marvin Jones for flex 1-point PPR. I think because you're getting a full point PPR, then you should really go with Tarik Cohen because I think he's going to catch enough passes to make it worth your while. CJ Anderson not going to catch the passes, maybe get the touchdowns. Marvin Jones, again, maybe get the touches, but it's not going to be the same number as Tarik Cohen, who's going to bank 7 catches just by existing against Tampa. Jameis or Big Ben, I like Jameis, but the way they've been running the ball is cause for concern. Minnesota, great defense, but if you think that Case Keenum's not going to be capable for Minnesota, then you're going to have a lot of time on your hands as the Steelers quarterback. So you're going to have opportunities to make the plays. So that's a big time coin flip, Armo. I think that it depends on how you feel about the Vikings defense. I will tell you that Big Ben at home is one of the better plays in all of fantasy sports. His splits for home and away are unlike any other quarterback in football. He is decisively better at home. A full yard per attempt better touchdowns, lower interceptions. It honestly doesn't make any sense. I think he had a couple of 6 touchdown games, and those are the ones that kind of like put him way over the top. So it is what it is. Let's do this. Ignore the live draft. Ignore it. We got to pick our teams now. Is this not going to update? There it is. Come on now. Watch the check down. We're looking good, boys. We're looking good. Ty Montgomery in the flex. Woo! Woo! This team is absolutely studly. Le'Veon Bell, Kareem Hunt, Cooper Crabtree against the Jets, Teddy Ginn, Ty Montgomery, straight flexing. I like that. Let's move on. Scumbags. Yeah, we got a couple of these guys. Jameis or Big Ben, man. That's a really rough one, man. That's an ultimate toss-up. I mean, Big Ben at home, you get a huge boost. I would wait and see how. So the Buccaneers won, I think, 6 of their last 10 games. And over that stretch, they had one of the best run rates in all of football. So what happened in the second half of the year, they put much more faith in the rushing game, and it actually paid off huge for them. I need a new defense in this league. I'm not going to lie. I'm not messing around here, guys. I am really out here. I'm really out here trying to fix my mistakes. We are 55 minutes till early kickoff. Wow, dude. Wow, that hurts. That hurts. I'm trying to make things happen. Redskins D against the Rams. Not so terrible. Give me the Titans. Making major Sunday morning moves, baby. Yeah, we got to do this. This is how it works. Any fantasy questions you guys got, I am out here. Wilson or Big Ben? Russell Wilson's got a really good matchup. You're killing me there because that's a really tough one. I'm going to go Russell Wilson because of rushing yards. I think that's his big steal over other guys. I think he can just do so much damage with his legs. I like Russell Wilson to have a good game. I think he's going to have a great season. He definitely started slow last week. But he's a much better play than Jameis. I would say Big Ben, Russell Wilson, Jameis. Big Ben at home, I feel like, is an auto start. Raiders D, there it is, baby. All right, we're actually set. One more. Yahoo. Jameis, Kelvin, Crowell, Hunt. I knew I had Kyle Rudolph out here, guys. And I'm going to keep him in because I like him. And I can't drop anybody else. I like all these guys. I don't want to drop any of these guys. So this is what we got to do. It's stressful, but it's our life. All our changes are made. We're out here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me like that. That's tough. That's tough when Schefter's dropping Schefter bombs and you're... It's tough, man. Schefter's dropping these bombs. I'm trying to recover. I'm like rattled from these Schefter bombs, and I'm trying to make some plays here. All right. Ooh, we are out here. Future better than Russ Wilson. Great. I have a solid running back core. Is Gillislee good choice to start? I don't see why not. Gillislee's going to be in that high-scoring game. He's a clear goal line back. Who are your other running backs? I mean, you just tell me you're starting. Joe made the crossover from Facebook. Hey, what's up, bud? Thank you so much for making the jump. Juan, give me your other running backs and we can talk about them. But if you have a solid running back core, I trust you. But you can just tell me all of them and we can talk about it. Screenshot your lineup and post it here. We'll break the whole thing down. I don't care. I'm out here. Wow. We are heading into the final 50 minutes today, week 2. Boy, do you come fast, man. This is unlike... Man, I love doing this show with you guys. Today was awesome. We ranked dips. It was super provocative. Joe, you missed us. Rank dips. It'll be in a best of later this week because, you know, we got to keep the people informed. And we had a great time talking today. We did a lot of questions. Sam Bradford got ruled out live on the show. Schefter bomb. We move on, man. Had a lot of really tough questions. We answered them all perfectly because it's a check down. What do you think this is? Is this a rookie game? Come on, Joey. Want to see some stuff? We did Tarik Cohen. We did sustainable and not sustainable. These are our bits, man. We got bits for days. We're out here. We ain't no crook because we got way more than 2 bits. All right? All right? All right? Baseball is about to start. I'm about to lose my whole viewership. Making major moves right now, guys. Oh my goodness. The injury reports. Guys, there's a lot of crazy stuff today. I'm interested to see how the Chiefs perform. All the teams that got blowouts week 1, all the teams that had what should be statistical anomalies, that's who I'm looking for week 2. I'm looking at the Chiefs. I'm looking at the Rams. I'm even looking at a team like the Broncos Chargers, that late night Monday night game where the Chargers going against a great defense, but they were able to score. So it ended up coming around where it's like, oh, what do I really think of this Chargers offense? How good are they? The Ravens got 5 turnovers from Andy Dalton and only scored 20 points. So what could I possibly learn from that matchup? So here we go. It's the way we learn, we watch, we figure it out. Eagles front 7 looks tremendous, man. You're not lying. You are not lying. Eagles do look real. I don't know what to do about that. But I do think the Chiefs are better than them. Not only do I think the Chiefs are better than them, I think that Andy Reid literally owns Eagles coach Doug Peterson. And it's like the Eagles are playing today with the Chiefs' old playbook. So however they think today's going to go, it's probably going to go worse because they totally know your plays, dog. That's just my opinion. I think that the Chiefs are talented enough to win without that. Dan Chiazzo, fantasy egg prep. I hope De La Rosa's in here. I got some people that specifically wanted egg chat today. So you are making their dreams come true. Drew's in here. What's going on, Drew? Coming in for the last hour. Boys. All right, let me get this. Juan, your running backs are stacked, but you lost David Johnson. You probably shouldn't include him. Yeah, go with Cook, McCaffrey, and Gilly and see what happens. Drop David Johnson. Keep your eye on waivers. You got to do it. Fantasy egg prep. This is rough because I really got to list out all the ways. So I think that country scramble and regular scramble are different. Country scramble is like when it's one solid piece, and regular scramble is when the when you're like constantly moving it and it's like chopped, like real scramble, like buffet scramble. So give me, man, this is really tough. I'm a big scramble guy. So give me Gordon Ramsay eggs. If you don't know how to make Gordon Ramsay eggs, look it up on YouTube. Gordon Ramsay eggs are the best way to eat eggs in the morning. They just take the longest. Then give me country scramble, like an omelet. Then give me over easy because it's harder to pop the middle and I get a little more crunch than sunny side up. And then at fifth, give me a Benny. Give me Benny 5 because that's just interesting. An egg salad 6 because, you know, it's my list and I'm clearly here to piss you guys off. Gordon Ramsay eggs. No Fun Dip eggs. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Don't you guys have to go make fun of Lauren for putting the eggs? True. So this is great. Chat is imploding. Peterson knows the Chiefs scheme, but he's also not nearly as good a coach as Andy Reid. So it comes back to bite him where it's like, you could know all you want against Reid. Like everybody knows what the Chiefs are going to do. Andy Reid's been running the same offense for 20 years, but Andy Reid is much smarter than Peterson. Like the Eagles offense is not going to evolve the way the Chiefs offense is going to evolve because Peterson's not as good an innovator as Andy Reid. It's really easy. Egg on a hamburger, absolutely. You put the bird on that burger, Fedora. I love it. Fedora, I hope you're a regular, man. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you today. I hope you did the same. This is great. And honestly, if you guys haven't looked up Gordon Ramsay eggs, like, what are you? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. It takes a little bit of extra time, but it's so worth it. I'll watch a YouTube video while I'm broadcasting live on YouTube. Oh, hey, my girlfriend's here to make fun of me for not liking Eggs Benedicts. I love it. I love it. Gordon Ramsay scrambled eggs, guys. What is there not to love about this? Is the stream going to die because I'm on 2 accounts at once? Yeah, Fedora, my man. Demanding Squid, what's going on? I haven't seen your name before, so I'm going to answer your question immediately before I make everyone watch a video about how Gordon Ramsay makes scrambled eggs. You think I should start Thomas Rawls, Jonathan Stewart, or Chris Carson? That's a really tough decision. That decision has a lot of aspects. Is it Rawls' injury history? Is it Carson's propensity to steal touches? Is it Jonathan Stewart's ability to take the goal line role against Buffalo? I think that either way, you're taking a huge risk. I wish you had a safer play out of those 3, and that makes things difficult. So let me go with Stewart as a safe play. I'm going to give you an order of basement, okay? This is the basement to ceiling ranking as far as safest score. So the third is the safest score, and the top is the highest possible score. Stewart, Carson, No, Stewart, Rawls, Carson. Because I really think Chris Carson's going to lead the Seahawks today in touches. But because Thomas Rawls is coming off an ankle, so if the Seahawks, let's say Rawls has a nasty first half, he's done. He's got an ankle injury. He's going to sit, and Carson's going to get the work in the second half while the game's out of hand. That's a fact. That's going to happen. The Gordon Ramsay video eggs. Dude burns toast. He does burn toast. He loves burning toast. Okay, I skipped ahead. In the video, but it's worth it. I skipped ahead in the video. Okay, we're watching. You gotta treat it like a risotto. It starts to come together. You take it off the heat, and then when it starts to bubble, you put it back off the heat, but you never stop stirring. It's got a lot of butter, but not much. It's just butter and eggs and elbow grease. He just muscles it. He's gonna burn his toast. We know that. But look at the way the dedication. It just takes a couple extra minutes. He says at the video that whenever there's a new chef in the kitchen, we have them make scrambled eggs, and that's the ability. That's how we know if the chef's any good. They can make good scrambled eggs. So let's skip ahead here. Look. See, all of a sudden it starts coming together, and it gets thick. It just comes together almost like a congeal. But look at that. It's like a paste. Oh my God. This is the best scrambled eggs you'll ever have in your life. He drops creme fraiche. You don't need to. It's got enough butter. It's so good. Then you put your salt in. This thing's so money. But just look at the way it comes out. Okay, chives. Like, it's Gordon Ramsay. He's going to make it. He's going to oversex it. And then he does this English thing where he's going to eat mushrooms and a tomato for breakfast. Who cares? You're gross, dude. He's got some EVOs. Drop the eggs so I can cut the video. Look at that. What? That's so fluffy. Are you kidding me? Those don't even look like scrambled eggs, dog. That is insane. Wow. 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 I'm so impressed at Gordon Ramsay. He's so good at eggs. Dude burns toast and throws it out. Yeah. No, I mean, it's okay to burn toast. That's what you buy a whole loaf of bread for, so you can burn toast. Never be afraid of burning the toast in your life. And that is wisdom from the Checkdown. So, if anything, we learned something today. You say, hey, Rick, how'd your fantasy football show go? I showed everyone how to make scrambled eggs the right way. I consider that a big-time W in my book. I don't care what the bosses say. I am doing things my way. My way. On the Checkdown. So, we got 40 minutes here before the first set of games kick off. Your boy couldn't be more excited. Any fantasy questions? I am out here. I had a bit that I didn't even get to use today. I'll see if anyone wants to throw questions my way. There's stuff that just getting lost in the shuffle. You over prepare and you underproduce. That's pretty much how the show goes. If you have any notes, anything that you think we could do different, better, that doesn't involve taking Fun Dip out of the power rankings, rick.rosen@heavy.com. During the week, at the Rick Rosen on Twitter. Put it here so you guys can see it. So you guys can send me emails. Let me know what you think of the show, what we can do better, what you want to see. Champagne glasses up for all the homies with parlays. That's what I'm saying, boys. Let's make it happen today. I super duper believe in you. I'm on it. I'm on it. Let's get some last second questions, guys. I haven't seen enough today. I haven't seen enough out of you. I like that we're all confident in our lineup, though. I had that Devante Parker, Chris Carson question. That really bothered me. But, you know, as much as we learned last week watching 13 football games, we learned even more because we learned even less because we didn't see two teams play, right? So now we're going to see Miami and Tampa play, two teams with wild card hopes. These are fringe teams that add up to some pretty good football with some really, really strong fantasy talent. Your Mike Evans, your Jaquiz Rodgers, your Jay Cutler could be a fantasy start next year. By the way, Jay Ajayi, I'm hearing a lot of things about Jay Ajayi recently, about how his knee's sore. which is always good. It's always good if your best running back has knee soreness through 0 football games. That's really a good jump-off point. Jay Ajayi, from what I understand, was going to be a first-round pick until it was revealed just how damaged his knees are, and he fell all the way to the 5th round where the Dolphins grabbed him. The Jay Ajayi, apparently, in one of his knees, he's got no cartilage, frowned upon in the NFL. He's straight bone on bone, which is, fun to say, bone on bone, bone on bone. But it's not conducive to a 300 carry running back, which is what we all want Jay Ajayi to be. We all want him to be a workhorse. We want him to be the main guy in Miami. We want him to take that job away. The Dolphins were last in passing attempts. But yeah, DeJuan Blair knees. It's rough, man. And that guy is supposed to be their number 1 guy. And you're monitoring knee soreness through 0 quarters of football. I'm not saying put Ajayi on the block. I'm just saying, that is something. It's one of the reasons I didn't draft him, because I heard about this stuff. But so everybody in your league has a Jay Ajayi. There's one guy in every single league with Jay Ajayi. So go find that guy and either buy him low or see what kind of deals you can swing. Because that guy thinks he has confidence in Ajayi. Maybe you can grab another running back because you can be like, yo, you got a stud. You got Ajayi. Not everyone, if he's not on the injury report all the time, people aren't going to know about these things like bone on bone, Man, I should have named my fantasy team Bone on Bone. That's too good. You guys want to see my fantasy team? I did Levy on a prayer this year. I think this violates some sort of, we're fine. I love just going on the internet with you guys. You guys want to look at funny videos on the internet? 48 minutes to go here, checking it down. 38 minutes till baseball and football collide. In a Sunday we like to call Sunday Fun Day. Sports are us. MyFantasyLeague.com. We are out here. Look at this logo. Do you guys like this logo? Look at this. We're zooming in. Look at Le'Veon Bell's face. Look at him squint. Look at those eyes. This is his official NFL headshot. Look at his eyes. I love this dude so much. He is so funny. I love this picture. I love my dude in the middle showing off the ring. That is incredible. And then just Le'Veon Bell's eyes make this just so perfect. I think my Photoshop skills are aces. I'm getting better every day. It's a process. Trust the process. But how about that, guys? Is that not great? Oh, man. Would you rather puke or have diarrhea? See, that's the question that Checkdown readers need to know. I have a double jointed jaw. My jaw does weird things. So it's gross, but I definitely rather have diarrhea over puke. I could read a book, which I can't do while puking. Puking hurts my jaw and it hurts my throat. I just think the lasting effects of puke are underrated in the negative way. People don't think about how, you think about when you're drunk and you puke and oh, I feel sober, I feel better, I feel sober. But if you're sick and you're sober and you puke, then it's just burns the acid. Stomach acid just burns all your area and you don't feel good. Diarrhea is a little bit of relief going on. I'm done talking about this, but I think this is going to make the best of segment. I think this is best of content, Armos. I think this is what we're pretty much aiming for when we talk about best of content. We talk about puke or diarrhea. That's it. That's where we draw the line in terms of elite content. Man, I can't get enough of this intro. One more time. Chuck Salamone. Chuck Salamone, his band Amigos. The link to their page can be found in the video's description. He's incredibly talented. He made this music for us. I wish him all the best. His brother popped by the show. Love it. Love it. That drop just gets me going. Yes. I want all your fantasy questions. We are T-minus 35 minutes to kick off. We are cruising on week 2. It's been an incredible time. We looked at Tarik Cohen. We played sustainable, not very sustainable. We did our dip power rankings. They were not very popular. The people were upset. The people remain upset. And I've gotten several nasty messages about the content of my dip power rankings. I don't care. It's my show. I will watch your show and disagree with your rankings because that is democracy. Oh, we losing stream? We just had a little blip in the stream. I like this part though. The Saints going to release AP. Fedora. Always source. Always source. Let's look at that. We can look at that. We can go look at... If the Saints are planning to release Adrian Peterson, we can go look at that right now. I'm not great at the navigation and it slows down all my computations, but I know when it comes to conversation, got the #1 fantasy show in the nation. That was for you guys. Adrian Peterson. I spit hard bars. It was react or relax. Oh, I like that. Oh, Fox had a segment discussing the possibility. Come on. Oh, Fedora, you freak me out, but that's okay. I like it. I like that. I like someone dropping bombs in the league, just being like, oh, Peterson getting released. That's crazy. I do think he is one of the biggest sell guys right now, just because he's Adrian Peterson, so his name carries weight. But at the same time, it's very obvious that his skill set is not where it needs to be. Yeah, Andrew Luck to retire. Nice. Fedora with the hits. Another one. Wow. What's that? Oh, Case Keenum warming up, guys. We're getting live look-in at Case Keenum warming up. Wow. In Pittsburgh. Unbelievable. Look at the carnage. Stephon Tuitt stretching. James Harrison is slobbering on the 50-yard line. James Harrison is in a pool of his own saliva. First to report. Wow. That's incredible. Wow. Who knew? Andrew Luck to retire. That's crazy. Tarik Cohen or Tevin Coleman? Bryson, thanks for popping in, man. I really appreciate you joining the show. When it comes to a matchup like that, I want to look at snap count. That is probably the first anti-Tarik Cohen pick that I'm going to make all day. So I'm going to go with Tevin Coleman on snaps and on scoring potential because I believe that game to be very high scoring. And I think especially if the scoring's back and forth, it's much more of a Coleman game than a Freeman game, if you know what I'm saying. Jay Glazer on Fox just now. Teddy Bridgewater is so far ahead of schedule. The Vikings think he can come off the PUP list in week 6. That's pretty credible. Just so you guys know. You know, you could put that into the chat, Fedora. If Dwyer, you want to come in and talk about these Instagram videos, man, feel free to join the chat. I am out here waiting for this. You think I should start him at flex or play OBJ and risk he plays? So I do think OBJ will play. I do think he's a risk. I do think Tevin Coleman's going to produce. So it's yo with the no. Bryson, sorry about that. Bryson, we did say early in the show, I do think OBJ will play. I think his confidence has stepped up, and when he gets a little pissy on Twitter, it means he's about to shut down haters. But Tevin Coleman is probably going to outsnap Tarik Cohen. I think Coleman is the basement play, right? He's going to get he's got the minimum score. You know what he's going to do. OBJ, your maximum play, your high risk play, your boom play, right? You need a couple of those every week. I think Coleman is the smart play this week. But you have Odell Beckham, and the better he is health-wise, that can only be beneficial to you, brother man. I like fake news in the stream. Quick, we got 26 people watching. Everybody post a fake news story. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Well, shit. What up, Sam? What up, Kirk? Everybody post fake news. Fake news. Andrew Luck retiring. Giselle starting for Brady today. AP getting cut. I love that. I love that because that's the realistic one. That's the not the onion post. The AP gets released. I love that. Chat just snaps into action. Bang. Oh, shit. We are working out here, man. Everybody take your time with these fake news stories. We got 29 minutes here checking things down before the action gets poppin'. We are so out here on the check down today. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very, very, very excited for today's slate of games. I'm very excited that, like, oh, the Mountain and the Hound are getting in here. I like these. Keep these coming. They started slow. We're out here, though. We are now out here. That is really good. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Sloter's going to start. I like that. Sloter off the practice squad on Friday. Give me some MTV News. Kurt Sloter. Jay Cutler officially starting at running back. Jay Ajayi out with a sprain. Day to day. I like that. Saints not interested in trading Adrian Peterson, so he might get straight cut. Man, can you imagine if the Giants just went Hound Mountain 1-2? It'd be only too good for them. It would only be too good for them. Such trash. I hate that so much. Wow, man. Easy credit rip-offs. Good times. Where's Bryson? Oh, Bryson was the one with JJ out with a sprained. I love that, guys. I love that. This is where I want the fake news. Last half hour, all our lineups are set. We're very hype about our bets. We did a live draft. We are so out here right now. This is really good. This has been a really good start to the show. Really good start to your football Sunday. I think the Pats start off 0-2. Hell no! I think you're going to get a massive bounce back game from the Patriots. They're going to carve up the Saints' inexperienced secondary, similar to what the Vikings did. I really don't think that's going to be, I mean, competitive maybe close in the fourth, but nice. Oregon jerseys, nice. No way the Pats start off 0-2. The Pats are money. You know, Tom Brady's got a propensity for bounce back games. I read this stat that in games after a loss I think it's in a dome against a bad defense. This is so specific, where the Patriots are favored by more than 6. Gronk is averaging like a touchdown and a half a game. It's stupid. It's a stupid split. It's obviously very niche, but basically, like, when the Patriots are going to work, Gronk gets it done, which is cool. It's cool to think about. I like it a lot. Give me one more fake news story, guys. We got 25 minutes, and then I'll show you my Andy Dalton footage. I got live footage of Andy Dalton and his mechanics. We're going to break down Andy Dalton's mechanics. So as soon as someone makes an Andy Dalton comment, we'll go back and we'll break down Andy Dalton's mechanics because I think it's really important. We got to do some film talk here. We got to break down some things. We got to get real. We got to make plays here. Give me one fake news, then an Andy Dalton comment, and then we'll roll into that footage. Cause it's exclusive AF. It's real out here. 25 minutes, baby. Checking it down. You heard? I'm looking at other stuff right now, just trying to make sure All my T's are crossed. Country music hits new highs as the genre dares to go. Yo, I love these last two. These last two were the best. Tim Tebow to quit Christianity to focus on baseball. Aces. And country music. Country music hits new highs as the genre dares to go where it hasn't before. That is fantastic. Wow. Nice. See, when it rains, it pours. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. As promised, just make an Andy Dalton comment and we'll roll this footage. Because I think it's worth rolling on. Sharp money, sharp money, sharp money. Wow, the Raiders. Immense favorite. That is insane. The Seahawks are a bigger favorite than the Raiders. Who would have thought? The red rocket is the red paper airplane. Okay, Fedora, I got you. So I took some film from Thursday and we broke down Andy Dalton's mechanics. And what we found out is that, especially on third down, third and long situations, true passing downs, 3 wide receiver sets or more is where Andy Dalton really starts to struggle and the pass rush really starts to mount. So this is from Thursday, fourth quarter, clutch situation. Watch how Dalton responds to a 4-man pass rush from the Texans. Oh no. Oh no. He's so unequipped to handle it. Oh, fire the offensive coordinator. Oh no. Oh no. We haven't scored an offensive touchdown in 8 quarters, man. Look at these stumbling around. He's lost out there. Throw it to AJ Green or throw it out of bounds, man. You can't. Oh, jeez. Oh, whoa. That was a lot to take in. I'm really glad you guys stuck around with that. I really should have rated it not safe for work. Get the tag up there. I'm sorry if you were at the office and you had to watch that. That is really explicit content. But let's watch it again. Oh, God, Andy. Andy, you got your OC fired. Andy, just hand Joe Mixon the ball, Andy. Oh, you're taking a sack, Andy. Oh, you're embarrassing me. That's it. Red paper airplane. Yeah, I mean, he's struggling, man. He's got his own problems. He doesn't look as good as he used to look. That's for shit sure. He used to look better, and now he does not. So the Bengals have a real problem. Honestly, the Bengals got calls for A.J. McCarron in the offseason and didn't pull the trigger. So it's up to them to figure out, is A.J. McCarron their guy? I really am not so sold on that. But Andy Dalton is looking less and less like a long-term investment every day. Really less and less. I'm really having trouble being sold on that. That's really rough. I mean, I'm sure, yeah, his footwork's nice. He stayed on his feet despite pressure. He felt the heat and he stayed on his feet, which is always a plus. But I think it's unsustainable in that kind of system with what I just saw in that frame of reference. Not crazy about it. Final stretch here on the Checkdown, guys. 20 minutes. It's your boy, Rick Rosen. Hey, we've had solid amounts of viewership, solid participation today. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Y'all mean so much to me. I hope we can do this all season. I'm here till November, and then I'm gone till November. I'll be gone till November. Tell your girl I'll be gone till November. That was one of the, Gorgalore. You the man. Half point PPR, Budo. What's up? Jarvis Landry or Chris Hogan? Oh, you're still struggling with this one. So the thing that bothers me with Chris Hogan is Philip Dorsett. I just don't see Dorsett being, I see Dorsett ending Chris Hogan's run as that guy. It makes me nervous. But in terms of Landry Hogan, Landry is your full point PPR guy. And Hogan is your big play guy. So when the Pats are playing the Saints, I'm much more averse. I want big play guys when I'm going against bad defenses, right? Because I want to maximize my scoring. I'm bothered by Hogan only catching one of his targets, but I'm also very aware of the Chiefs secondary and very aware of Brady's waning deep ball, and I'm impressed by Hogan's snap count. Like, he's out there. He's not getting thrown to on a high percentage of his routes, but he's running them, which is more than can be said about a lot of other receivers that we roster. Beckham's frustrating. If you have another receiver or even another giant, if you have an Engram, if you have Marvin Jones, I'd be okay with going that way for Monday night. I personally think Beckham's going to start and have a decent game. Just appear. But I'm not 100% confidence in it. If I had Beckham, I would start him, but that's because I'm a believer, and I think when he comes out talking smack, he knows he's ready to play. It's an internal theory about Odell Beckham Jr. that I have. Brian, it bothers me too. The Patriots are just so fickle. You just gotta deal. I spilled coffee. Flex spot with plenty of options. Pryor, Matthews, Hogan, Lockett, Aguilar. Joey, if it's PPR, I'm probably going to go Pryor Sr. I really liked his involvement week 1, even if the catches weren't there, the looks were. So here's where you're going. You're going Lockett, then Matthews, then Aguilar, Hogan, Ty, and then Pryor. Aguilar's probably going to see some Marcus Peters today. So why don't you give me Pryor? Rams really weren't tested last week against the Colts. They're going to have their hands full today. The Redskins know what they're doing with the ball. It's on defense that makes me nervous about their ability as a team. Not that I root for them. But Jordan Matthews, super inconsistent, risky injury play. Chris Hogan, like we said, one of the ultimate boomer busts in football right now. And, we're out here. We are so out here. Fedora, thank you, man. I will see you next week, bud. I will see you. We don't stop with the shenanigans. You think I don't got more shenanigans? Yeah, there's no sleeves on this magician, baby. I got tricks all day. I'll go for another 3 hours if I didn't want to actually be watching football. But to be honest, I missed a little soccer and I'm kind of upset about it. So now I got to channel my frustrations and I got to turn on Red Zone channel, binge for 8 hours, and eat my GD feelings. Thank you so much, Anthony. I really appreciate it. Tell 2 friends. Tell 2 friends. At 1, I'm watching Red Zone, dude. The Giants play on Monday. I'm watching Red Zone all day today. Like I'm not gonna give any looks to Jets Raiders. I'm not gonna give. And honestly, the best game of the night is Falcons Packers is the night game, dude. So here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna watch Red Zone at 1, but I'm gonna keep us. Okay, so I'm gonna side eye a couple games. If I had to watch, what's the game I'm most interested in? I'm most interested in Chiefs, Eagles, and Bills, Panthers. I think by far. So I'm probably going to keep those 2 on the side. Red Zone. 4 o'clock, move on to, obviously, we're going to watch Cowboys, Broncos together. But I'm going to keep an eye on Seattle because I want to see Chris Carson. I want to see what kind of touches Chris Carson gets. So Dallas, Denver for the sheer skill of it all. Chris Carson watch, and then get me ready for a really, really good slate of primetime games. I don't understand how people get shit on these Thursday night games. Hey, Dan, thanks for coming in, man. Dan Rivas Music, welcome, man. Roll the dice and wait, pray about OBJ or roll out D-Jax at noon. I'm torn. I 100% would roll out OBJ. I'm much more confident in that. D-Jax, sketchy play as it is. 93 degrees, first game of the season, hot and muggy in Tampa. Not totally sold on it. Not to mention, the Bears have been sneaky good at holding top wide receivers to minimal days. Julio Jones had 60 yards last week, first game of the season, and he had a pretty long run mixed in there too. So I'm feeling good about OBJ and feeling better about OBJ over D-Jax. Granted, you have to roll with the injury risk. Yeah, I thought the Bears' coverage of wide receiver ones under John Fox to be way more impressive than I originally perceived. Mike Evans is Tampa's top receiver, but he does different things. And what they're going to do is they're going to use Jackson to take the top off the defense, and then they're going to hit Evans in that over the corner under the safety, right in that cover 2 beater. Evans is going to pretty much live in posts and cover 2 beaters this year with the way Deshaun Jackson affects an offense. I'm very excited to see the Tampa offense today also, because Deshaun Jackson is a fancy toy. Kean Fahey from Football Outsiders called Deshaun Jackson the most valuable receiver in football, because even when he's not getting the ball, he is so valuable for backing up safeties, taking the top off the defense, making them respect the deep ball. What's up, Armo? What's up? It's a fascinating dichotomy when you have a number 1 receiver that warrants safety help, and then you add a Deshaun Jackson. How do you defend that? Because even Deshaun Jackson has never been on a team with that kind of 1-2 punch. It's uncharted territory all around. So I'm really, really happy. Okay, so this is easy. Armol, we're going Jaquiz. We're going to get the touches. We're going to get the run rate. We're going to get the workhorse back before Doug Martin comes back with his drunk ass. And we're going Dez over Marquise Lee. We're not going to overthink this. Dez over Marquise Lee. Just don't overthink it. Don't make it a bigger deal than it is. Take your best guys and roll out hard. It's what you got to do, man. Just believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself. Final 14 minutes here, checking it down. Hey, I want all your questions. I want to hear sitcom questions. I want to hear wrestling questions. I want to hear about 25th Amendment questions. Bring it all on. Maybe not the last one. I like the job, and I want to hit a drunk hamster. Drunk hamster, called it. Can't do anything about it. That's mine now. Drunk hamster, new band name, called it. I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec. New band name, called it. Drunk hamster, new band name. Drunk muscle hamster really hits rule of 3s strong. I like that a lot. My boy's giving me likes. Yeah, I got 13 minutes left. Give me the social support at 10 o'clock, good boy. I love it, Eric. Thank you so much for the social help, even if you're not in here right now. I'm loving the chat today. We brought a lot of new faces in today. It was really fun. We took a lot of questions from people who are not regular members of the Checkdown community, who might have gotten thrown off by dip rankings, or we talked about pop rock punk albums. I want those questions always, guys. I want music questions. I want acting questions, movie questions. I want reality show questions. I want food questions always. Pick one. Come on, Armo. You get it. Phil Dunphy from Modern Family or Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. I'm going to go with Phil. And because of... Okay, so I was going to... Whatever. And word vomit. Phil Dunphy. Sit down. Be humble. Barney Stinson, I don't like his attitude. I like Phil. Phil knows where he came from. Phil is very aware of his limitations. And my favorite is Phil's propensity to hero worship, which is like Barney Stinson is like the polar opposite of that, where he thinks people should be worshiping him. But Phil Dunphy is just like, this guy's so cool. Like I love when he's like admiring cool dudes. Like that's like my favorite Phil. Daniel, thank you so much, man. Please tell 2 friends so we can hit 50 people next week. That's our goal. Our goal is 50 viewers at one time. We're going to blow up the chat next week. That's our goal. Am I thinking decoy for Beckham at all? No. And I talked about this last week in great detail when Beckham was going Sunday night. A lot of receivers, I do buy the decoy thing. I think it's a real thing. But I think the way Beckham plays, if you're not a Giants fan, Beckham is super physical on the line. He's a really good blocker, and I don't think that Beckham will go 100% until he's actually 100%. I think they say, hey, you want to be a decoy? And he says, no. This is the same guy that missed 9 games his rookie year because of a hammy and was like, I'm not coming back till I'm 100% ready. And then when he did, he historically put together the best 9-game stretch of any rookie receiver in the history of football. So you have to respect the guy knowing his own body. But then when he comes out on Tuesday and says, yeah, some people say this is an 8 to 12 week injury, but whatever. And then you got like his mentor Chris Carter saying he thinks he'll play. Those two things work in, they're like dance partners, and Odell loves to dance. So when you add all these things up, I'm pretty confident he's going to play. My homer might be showing, but you know, it is what it is. He's the best receiver in football when he's healthy, and I think if he's healthy, he's good, man. You just got to believe. Great question, though. The decoy question is always something you got to think about, especially when you're rocking an elite receiver like him, man. Always, always, always. Yaz, you still in the chat? Kiazo? We're out here, man. Calling out people by name, trying to make decisions. Daniel, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you checking out the show for the first time. Awesome. Okay, Armel, better NFL tight end, LeBron or Aaron Judge? Dude, everyone knows that LeBron would instantly be the best player in football. I don't see how this is fair. Everyone knows if LeBron wanted to play for the Browns tomorrow, he would be the best individual player in the National Football League. You can't tell me nothing. Aaron Judge, slow. I don't hate Aaron Judge, and I'm going to be careful here so I don't get fired. I don't understand why he steals, but he spends more time walking than a lot of guys, and I know walking is frowned upon in football. I just don't buy Aaron Judge 60 plays, blocking, running routes, banging bodies inside, chipping a running back, chipping a D end. He's got to chip JJ Watt on the outside. Not happening. Judge is big, but he's big for baseball, right? I mean, he'd look decently sized in pads, but I think he would look more like Marcus Colston. He would look more like, you know? I think that's fair, right? He'd look like Colston. He just looked big in pads than as opposed to like, than like LeBron. LeBron's wide. LeBron's got the athletic frame. Put it on the e-board. Put it on that e-board. Yeah, he's got great body, man. I think LeBron would smoke him. You know what? I think that's a really good topic for next week, Armel. We do fantasy, non-football tight ends, and we get LeBron in there. We get Judge in there. Who else would you put in there? Who else would you put in there? Fantasy, non-football tight ends. Dwight Howard, I would put in there. I mean, it'd be all basketball players mostly because they're making the best tight ends in football right now. But Stanton, I would take Giancarlo Stanton over Judge. How about that? He doesn't even really run, but he's got a better arm. Dwight's made of glass. Whatever. So's Jordan Reed. Don't give me that made of glass-ish. It's football. It hurts. I love that. Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed. Rob, if you're here, I'm messing with our pool entries. I'm doing it. Dwight Howard be good. There's not a lot of football crossover. Football's hard sport, man. I'd like, how about Josie Altidore? If you want to go outside the box a little bit, I would like to see him catch a fade route. Why haven't any soccer players been signed as kickers? Something that bothers me. You'd think that would just be easy for them. You'd think that would just be fair. Like, sorry for making things too hard for you. Dag, homie. I'm looking for... Wow, I got way too much stuff open. We're just winding it down here, guys. Fast 6 minutes. Josie can't finish. Yeah, but we're playing football now. One of the Williams sisters. Absolutely. I would 100% take Serena Williams on my football team. 9,000%. That's the best American athlete of all time. I don't know if anyone told you. But wait. First of all, does anyone realize that Serena Williams had a daughter? Serena Williams had a daughter, and they named it Junior after the father. Did anyone pick that up? Am I the only one to pick that up? It's Alexis Jr., but it's a girl. It's confusing. It is super confusing. I'm flipping on a couple of these picks. Don't let me down. I'm listening to a lot of Haim today. Cleveland, Buffalo. I just flipped 2. I'm going to text that dude right now. Picks, pool, picks, pool, picks, pool. Janoris Jenkins downgraded to questionable. That would be nice to know before. Ugh. Ugh. Guys, we are so close to week 2 cook. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I'm just trying to make fantasy football picks. I'm really interested to see the Steelers-Vikings game now with Case Keenum. Burns, if you're late, Sam Bradford is out today. Case Keenum is going to start. They're thinking it's just a 1 week in, but that's still insane because you got one of the league's best defenses in Case Keenum at quarterback, a workhorse running back. The Steelers' game plan definitely changes. I would definitely up the pressure and bring more guys in the box and play on Cook. But at the same time, like, that's a dangerous team. Crazy, bro. So crazy, bro. Wow. We are finishing strong here, boys. Hot take, Robbie Anderson. Wow. Anybody else got a hot take? Put it in the chat. We're going to end the show. We're going to end the show right now. We're going to end the show right now. Give us your fireest take of the day. God damn. Robbie Anderson, 2 TDs against the Raiders. I love that hot take. My hot take. The Rams beat the Redskins. The Rams go on the road and beat the Redskins. Todd Gurley's killing it. That's my hot take. Give me yours. CJ Anderson throws a pick. That is the biggest hot take. I love it. Giants win by 12. 3 minutes, boys. More. Prep. Finishing strong here on the Checkdown. Sports for Life, thank you for joining late. We're taking Randall Cobb over Diggs. Sam Bradford is out, and Packers-Falcons is the highest scoring game of the day. Give me Randall Cobb in that choice all day. Good luck in your games. Put in that lineup. Kickoff starts in 3 minutes. Dez did not make the catch. That is a fraudulent hot take, but I love you guys. This has been the Checkdown Week 2. Josh McCown, 75-yard rushing touchdown. Celebrate to the dab. Armo, you've lost your mind. I love it. We're checking it down. It's the final minutes. You guys don't understand. The music's blasting. It's been 3 hours. We did so many rankings. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. You'll never know how much I appreciate it. Give me one more hot take for the road. Y'all don't know. We're fucking up the stream because it's too litty. It's too litty. Turn the music down. Bring it back. Bring it back to earth. Bring it out here. Jarvis Landry, question mark. Jarvis Landry, no. Jarvis Landry, no. He's drawing the number one corner. Number one corner on the Chargers. Not Verrett. Casey Hayward. Guys, thank you. So the Full House intro's playing because I didn't turn the volume all the way down. Guys, this has been so much fun. As much fun it is for you to watch, it's for me talking. This is the Checkdown, 10 to 1. Every Sunday during football season. Tell 2 people, they tell 2 people. Next thing we know, we're getting Matthew Berry fired. That's the ultimate goal. It's your Sherpa, Rick Rosen, climbing Fantasy Mountain week by week. Good luck today. I will see you next week. Hit me on Twitter at the Rick Rosen. Hit me in my email. You know where to find me. Send me a text. Find me on Xbox. Let's get some dubs, guys. Fantasy week 2. We so about it.